ABC. Today, Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes put to rest any doubt regarding his status for Sunday's AFC Championship game versus the Bengals. He said he's ready to go. Also said he's continued to get treatment on his high ankle sprain and that the ankle has progressed. He took part in the morning walkthrough and today's practice. With an injured Mahomes, there is one player in particular key for the Chiefs' offense on Sunday, explains ESPN's Marcus Spears.
Outside of the offensive line, which is obvious, is Isaiah Pacheco, their running back. Listen, this is about the run game for Andy Reid. Isaiah Pacheco with 4.34, almost 4.2 speed. We saw that burst last week in the game against Jacksonville. He can be the difference maker, not only to give them a running game, but to also keep pressure off of Patrick Mahomes.
NBA, ESPN's Dave McMenamin reporting the Lakers set to welcome back Anthony Davis from a foot injury against the Spurs. Barring any setback during his pregame warm-up tonight, AD has been out since the middle of December. Warriors center James Wiseman sidelined the last 11 games with an ankle sprain, likely returns tonight against the Grizzlies, 10 Eastern, ESPN TV.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Feeling great today.
Hump day.
Tigers lost last night.
It's hump day.
Pelicans lost last night.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
7 in a row for LSU.
Hump day.
5 in a row for the Pels.
It's hump day.
But you know what?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Ain't nobody gonna drag me down.
Hump day.
I'm feeling good.
It's hump day.
I'm feeling great.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Fired up for the next 3 hours.
Hump day.
Glad to be here.
It's hump day.
Fired up to be spending this quality time with Paulie and Muse in a tiny box room.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Every single day.
Hump day.
All of the days.
It's hump day.
Yeah, basketball season sucks.
Mike. What day is it,
We're
Mike?
going to get through it, though.
Hump day.
Scott Kushner next hour.
It's hump day.
Braden Fehoko, hour 3.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Taylor Calandro later this hour.
Hump day.
All right, let's get cooking, y'all. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Pelicans lost last night, their 5th straight. That was a bummer. If you didn't watch the game, the Pels had a shot at the buzzer to win it. C.J. McCollum shot an off-balance jumper from the baseline, hit nothing. It would have been highway robbery had it gone in. Denver dominated the game entirely. The Pels made a run late and actually gave themselves a chance to win, which was incredible. But had that shot gone in, it would have been complete and total utter robbery. I would have been here for it. I am all for it. Need whatever good vibes we can get at this point. But Pels lose their 5th straight. The good news is Brandon Ingram will return tonight against Minnesota in a game that is inherently winnable for the Pelicans, and they should end their losing streak tonight at home. So knock on Formica. Let's see if they can get it done. Same can't be said for LSU, which was It was abysmal. And you know what's odd? If you're watching the game or listening to it, it was 15-8 Arkansas. And I'm pulling up the play-by-play so I can get exactly when this was. Here it was. It was 15-8 at the 10:47 mark. And KJ Williams got fouled shooting a three. He made all three shots. So it's 15-11 at the 10:38 mark, or the 10:47 mark, I should say. And now you feel like you're in it. Okay, got a little momentum, let's go. The exact opposite happened. Over the next 10 minutes, over the next 10:47, LSU would score 3 points. And it was nothing but a series of run-out dunks, like an and one tape or something like that. It was incredible to watch what transpired. The complete about face at that point was staggering. And no matter how many times Matt McMahon tried to call a timeout to get his team refocused and back in it, it just didn't matter. If you want a little bit of good news, someone asked me today, man, have you ever seen that where a team scored 14 points and a half? Actually, yes. The Sweet 16 team, John Brady's SEC champion Sweet 16 team back in 2000, and I went and looked it up to confirm it. That game against Wisconsin in the Sweet 16 went to half 22-14. So, yes, I actually have seen it in an NCAA tournament game where it was that bad. But, boy, it's they just can't shoot. 12% from the floor in the first half, 25% from the floor for the game. Every problem that LSU has was exacerbated last night, and the pain just gets worse. That's 7 straight conference losses now for LSU. They'll step out of conference play this weekend for the Big 12 SEC Challenge. They welcome in Texas Tech, and then they're right back to the grind. You're at Missouri. You're home against Bama. You're at Mississippi State. You're home against A&M. You're at Georgia. I mean, maybe you slip up and find a way to win one of those somewhere to to end this misery and get a little good mojo. But really, the question is, can this team get up off the mat? Like, can they possibly get up off the mat? And at what point is it so bad that you just, you're so deflated? How do you even put forth effort? And that's really the challenge for Matt McMahon right now. And whenever LSU when it rolled on the schedule and they played, at A&M and home against Florida, we talked about it then. So you got to get one there. You got to get one of those two, or two of them preferably, because it was going to be a while before you realistically had a shot to win one again. And it's playing out that way. It's not fun for anybody. I get it, but it's just the reality. And they're going through it. They're going to have to put their head down and keep going through it because you can't just skip games on the schedule. You got to go play them, and they're just not going to go well for this LSU team. But I decided today that I don't want to just be that dark cloud hanging over everybody's head, repeating the same things that everybody's saying, which are reality. So I said, let me give you a little bit of optimism today on this gorgeous, sunshiny day in Baton Rouge. After some look, it's apropos, isn't it? Terrible weather last night. A literal storm. Hope everybody's okay, by the way. A literal storm last night. But you know what transpired after it? The sun came out, and we have a bright, sunshiny day. I'd like to remind you that as bad as this LSU basketball team is right now, it's not as bad as, say, New Coke. I mean, you remember New Coke? You remember this, Muse? Do you remember New Coke?
No.
No recollection at all of New Coke.
This is before my time, I believe, yeah.
You've never heard of New Coke?
I've heard of New Coke. Okay. I don't know what I just listened to right there.
Let me remind you something else.
All right.
There was a thing called Clear Pepsi. You remember that?
Nope.
There was Clear Pepsi. Pepsi Cola thought it'd be a good idea if we made a clear Pepsi Cola. And you know what?
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
It was actually clear. It looked like water.
Clear. Like Sprite. It blew your mind. And then SNL spoofed it. They did like Clear Gravy and all different type of stuff like that. That was pretty funny, right?
That's pretty good.
Are we feeling better already?
You made me smile.
Are we feeling better? Hey, you know what? I got news for you.
What's up?
I'd rather watch this LSU basketball team than say Saved by the Bell, the college years. Remember this?
This I do know, actually, yes.
Standing at the edge of tomorrow, today. That's at the end. You know, not only was there Saved by the Bell, the new. Did you ever watch Saved by the Bell, the new class?
Not the new class.
Paulie, new class?
I did not.
No? What about, look, even after new class, or I'm sorry, college years, they had new class. They had Saved by the Bell college years, then Saved by the Bell, the new class. Oh, both worse than LSU basketball, dare I say.
Did you ever watch the one where they went to Hawaii?
Oh, see, that was awesome. That was Zach and Kelly's
wedding.
No. The wedding was Vegas.
They were staying at
Kelly's grandfather's resort in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Of course I watched that. I was all in on Saved by the Bell back then.
Yes,
My goodness.
yeah.
You know, look, do I need to remind you about Jimmy Cliff again? Please, yes, thank you. Remember when Conan hosted The Tonight Show? Or do you remember the Magic Johnson show? Magic Johnson had a late night talk show. They even let Magic Johnson coach the Lakers for a minute.
Oh.
He's tried a lot of different careers that didn't work out.
And all with the Lakers there.
I know, yeah. LSU basketball's better than the shake weight, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, the shake weight. That thing. Well, that thing is actually high unintentional comedy, right? High on the unintentional comedy scale. Let's be honest.
It's hard to not think of the shake weight and not smile.
That's true.
That's fair. ShamWow, better than ShamWow.
No, the ShamWow is actually pretty effective. No, have you ever used it? No. Have you ever used a ShamWow? Answer the question. Have you ever used a ShamWow?
No.
And I have.
Okay.
The ShamWow works.
So LSU basketball is not better than the ShamWow. Is what you're saying?
Just leave that to a coin flip.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what LSU basketball is better. The 1988 Dukakis campaign. How about that? Or the 2004 Howard Dean. I can't remember the scream with Howard Dean.
We're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
And in that moment, the man lost the presidency.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
In that moment, the man lost the presidency. Well, he lost the nomination for the presidency. With that one moment, he became a total caricature with one. Yeah!
I mean, does this say leadership?
Howard Dean, God bless him. His career ended because of that scream. I tell you what, give me LSU basketball over Woodstock 99. Give me LSU basketball over Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, yeah, God, it's terrible.
I mean, Major League 2. How many other awful sequels do we need to go down the list of?
Hold on. Major League 2 is good. Yes. It's not as good as the first one. Back to the minors. LSU's better than Major League Back to the Minors.
They're better than Drew Barrymore's morning talk show.
Of course.
You know,
so there is some positive there.
Do I need to remind you that once upon a time, a little band called Milli Vanilli won a Grammy? I mean, yeah, you can. This is your cue to hit.
Yeah,
that's your cue to hit the Milli Vanilli. Yep, there.
It decided to not go. Happened to this thing?
That's called you're trying to run a production value 3 minutes before the show starts and you forgot to edit the head.
You know what else LSU basketball's better than? Skipping CDs, because that's what just reminded me of.
That's exactly what that reminded me of. Actually, I should have just said that's what that was.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not even mad at Milli Vanilli. I love Blame It on the Rain.
I was about to say, this is actually a pretty good song.
I love it. But they won a Grammy. They won the GD Grammy.
Blind squirrel, finds
No, this isn't a blind squirrel thing. This is fraud.
Okay.
That's just all that was fraud. That's what it was. It was fraud. They just had studio singers, and they just lip-synced the whole thing. God bless them. And God bless this LSU basketball team, because, in the infamous words of Jimmy Cliff, it's going to be a bright Bright. Sunshiny day. Okay. You know what else I love about this song? They use that on the soundtrack to Cool Runnings.
Good movie.
Great movie. I watched that more times than I need
to watch it again. It's been a minute.
Used to be able to like buy movies on. Well, I guess you still can buy movies now, but we would buy the movie on whatever the channel was that you could buy rent the movie.
Yeah.
And we'd record it on a VHS.
Smart.
And then we'd watch it over. Like summer months.
You were the people the FBI was warning at the beginning of VHS videos.
No.
That's piracy in a way.
No, the piracy is the people that would copy the VHS and then sell them. That's a big difference. Or replay them, for large audiences to try to make money. That's what the FBI warned against. You can't tell me not. Or like, what about when you're sitting in your room with a cassette player and you just hit record and play at the same time when your favorite song came on?
People did that.
Yeah, I don't think you ever did that.
Mixtape?
You never did that.
I never did that. I said people
Paulie,
did that.
did you ever do that?
I did not do that.
I mean, I had services I could download the music off of like Napster and LimeWire and things like that.
I burned a lot of CDs, but I never did that.
Burn the CDs. Didn't have to make the mixtape handheld.
We're not. Well, the three of us are not that far apart in age, but it goes to show you how rapidly technology has advanced in the last 30 years. Because I did all that. Now there's people listening right now who are like, well, you don't remember listening to an 8-track. Well, you're right, I don't. But I actually did play 8 tracks. Early in radio, they had 8. No, they didn't have 8 tracks. They had cart players. You wouldn't know a cart.
No.
Nobody cares about this. Anyway, hopefully that was a little bit of a smile here to start your Wednesday on a mostly gloomy day for the basketball teams here, except for the Lady Tigers, who continue to be en fuego, and they got some more good news today. We'll talk about that later. Let me knock out a break. Chris Olave got snubbed. We're going to talk about it next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Been a pleasure telling you about our newest partners here on AFR, the Renaissance Hotel in Baton Rouge. We talk about the Watermark and the Renaissance, same ownership group. So the Watermark downtown, the Renaissance in Southtown, right there on Bluebonnet. Something I really want to stress. At the Renaissance Hotel, they can host any gathering that you may have, from intimate boardrooms that could seat 12 people up to their ballroom that can host 500 people. So events of all different sizes. But also at the Renaissance, they have a phenomenal restaurant there called Tallulah. TallulahBR.com. TallulahBR.com is the website if you want to check it out. Don't think of it as a hotel restaurant. It's not bar food. It is a casual, upscale experience right there on Bluebonnet inside the Renaissance Hotel. Perfect for that business lunch or a date night out. Check it out. It's Tallulah inside of the Renaissance Hotel in Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford has $4,000 off MSRP plus $1,000 Ford credit cash on new 22 Ford F-150 XLT trucks. That's $5,000 off plus 0% financing. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal. supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana Loyal. Always.
You ever heard the tale of the misunderstood bull? A menacing beast that was born to float. A force of nature. The embodiment of grace. Quite grand, yet quiet and nimble. The Infiniti QX80.
Experience the Infiniti QX80 at your local Infiniti retailer.
All right, let's say ah.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Getting some of the votes for the finalists for NFL awards. The finalists for MVP have been named. There are 5 of them, and 2 of them played football on the 2019 LSU team. Joe Burrow and Justin Jefferson are 2 of the 5 finalists for NFL MVP. The 5 finalists are Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, and the aforementioned Justin Jefferson, the only receiver on the list. Mahomes is the odds-on favorite. He's going to be the betting favorite here, and he probably should win it and is going to win it. And I honestly have no problem with that whatsoever if that's how it plays out. When you look at the statistics this season, Patrick Mahomes, he got 49 of the 50 first-place votes for the All-Pro team, and his statistics are better than Joe Burrow, who threw for 44, 75, and 35 touchdowns. Mahomes threw for over 5,000 yards. Again, 5,000 yards used to be a far grander accomplishment when you didn't play 17 regular season games, but Mahomes threw for 52, 50, and 41 touchdowns. So Mahomes with the better stats is likely, and of course the 1 seed there in the NFC, or the AFC, excuse me, is likely going to lead his team there as the MVP. I was thinking about this earlier. And by the way, Jalen Hurts is one of the finalists. And probably, had he not gotten hurt and missed time, Jalen Hurts likely would have won this award. So a little bit of a bummer, I'm sure, for him. But missing time, just he fell back, but still a finalist and a great honor for him there. I could say the same for Josh Allen, who threw for 4,200 yards this year and 35 touchdowns. But the turnovers were a problem. 14 picks, 13 fumbles. He lost 5 of them in the regular season. So, Josh Allen, I do wonder when the season's over if we're going to find out the extent of Josh Allen's elbow injury that he suffered earlier in this season. Because, man, I remember watching that game against the Chargers where he hurt the elbow, tried to go back in, and couldn't even throw the football. So, and then continued to play the remainder of the season. So I'm curious if we'll find that out here in this offseason. But Justin Jefferson led the league in receptions with 128, led the league in receiving yards with 1,809. There was a point where they thought he would break Calvin Johnson's single-season receiving record, which he had it in his crosshairs with 2 weeks to go, but didn't quite get across the line. But a great honor for those 2 former Tigers to be finalists for the MVP. I was really thinking about Joe Burrow earlier today and if he's going to have a chance to win an MVP. And it kind of reminded me of the Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers year in 2011. Drew Brees should have won the MVP in 2011. He threw for 5,476. This is a record 5,476 yards and 46 touchdowns. And, of course, the Saints were 13-3. They had an incredible year in 2011. And Brees, again, in my opinion, should have won the MVP. The problem is Aaron Rodgers was coming off of a Super Bowl win the year before in 2010. So Brees, Rodgers went back-to-back Super Bowls. Brees 2009, Rodgers 2010. Then 2011, they both had incredible seasons. Brees threw for 800 more yards than Rodgers did. Rodgers threw for 4,600 yards. It was an incredible year. But they also went 15-1. They started 13-0, finished 15-1, and Rodgers set the NFL record for passer rating in a season at 122.5, and Rodgers won the MVP that year in a year where Brees probably should have won it. But really, the tiebreaker came down to the fact that Brees was 13-3, Rodgers was 15-1, and they went with the guy that had won more games. So I kind of look at Burrow, and I wonder if he's maybe gonna end up facing that same fate that Drew Brees did, where he's undeniably a great player. He's going to put up great numbers, and his teams are going to win a lot of games. But you always get the sense that there's going to be somebody. Like this year, Burrow threw for 4,475 yards. It's almost the inverse of what happened with Brees. Whereas Burrow threw for fewer yards than Mahomes. Mahomes threw for more yards and had the better record. It's like Burrow's going to have one of those 15-2 type seasons in Cincinnati, which is doable. I mean, he's incredible, but I don't know that statistically in that offense, he's going to have a year where he throws for 5,400 yards. So if he doesn't do that, if he's never leading the league in passing, he's going to have the best record in the league on the best team, which is considered the best team in the league. And that's going to be really difficult in that AFC with so many good teams, with Mahomes, with Herbert, with obviously Lamar Jackson there, who's won an MVP as well in Baltimore. It's just never what might happen in Pittsburgh with Kenny Pickett sort of on the come up. So, I think Burrow's perpetually going to be in this conversation, but it's going to be tough, I think, for him to get over that hump and win an MVP. Just because I don't think he's ever going to put up the numbers that some of the other quarterbacks in the AFC do, barring some kind of change, something unforeseen. But still, an amazing compliment to both Joe Burrow and Justin Jefferson to be finalists for the NFL MVP. NFL Honors will name their winners on February the 9th. So right before the Super Bowl, we'll find out who the MVP is, who won all these awards. So we'll get to that. Chris Olave was snubbed. I'll get to that here in a second. I want to remind you about Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows. Beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. They do it all over at Relief Windows. Again, it's energy-efficient replacement windows that will lower your home's energy bills. Did you wake up next to drafty windows? Was your home colder this morning after a cold night than you normally would expect? Well, it could possibly be because you have leaky, drafty windows, and Relief Windows can help take care of that. Have them come, measure twice, install once, custom windows for your home that'll reduce those air leaks, those costly air leaks that make your home central heater or your AC, depending on the season, work harder. It's Relief Windows. Windows, door siding, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com. So we mentioned that Burrow and Jefferson finalists for the MVP award. Chris Olave was not a finalist for the AP Offensive Rookie of the Year award. And that is certainly disappointing because Olave had a magnificent season. He was a 1,000-yard receiver in his rookie season with the Saints, 72 catches for 1,042. The three finalists for AP Offensive Rookie of the Year were Olave's college teammate, Garrett Wilson, who just finished his rookie season with the Jets, a Seahawks running back, Kenneth Walker, and 49ers quarterback, Brock Purdy. You have a problem with this? I'm kind of okay with it. Garrett Wilson had a better season than Olave did. He had more catches and more receiving yards. They each had 4 touchdowns. So if you're going to pick one of the receivers, I'm okay with them picking Garrett Wilson. He had a better season statistically than Olave did. They were both great. It was close, but Wilson had a better year. Kenneth Walker was probably the odds-on favorite to win the award before the injury chopped him down this season. But he still had 1,050 yards and 9 touchdown runs, also caught 27 passes for 165 on a team that went to the playoffs. So I understand Wilson and Walker being there. The surprise and the assumption had largely been that Olave would be in there. Well, Olave got bumped by Brock Purdy because Brock Purdy has now, as the third-string quarterback for the 49ers, started 6 times and won every game he started and led them into the playoffs and has now led them to 2 playoff wins and to a conference championship game. So it is a quarterback league. Purdy has won big in a tough spot. And Olave played on a bad team that didn't make the playoffs. So I'm trying to purge my inherent admitted overt bias toward the guy who had a great rookie season on my team. But it's kind of tough to weigh because Purdy didn't play a full season. So I don't think Purdy's going to win the award. I mean, we've seen rookie quarterbacks win that award before, and guys that went on to that had good rookie seasons that didn't have great careers. RG3, Vince Young. I mean, a couple guys that won Offensive Rookie of the Year that went on to not have great careers, but those guys started the whole season. So I do understand the counter argument that Purdy only played a third of the season. But boy, it's hard to minimize the impact he had on a team that's going to play for the NFC Championship this weekend. So in any event, still a great year for Chris Olave. 1,000 yards receiving as a rookie, something only Michael Thomas and Marcus Colston have done. So congrats on a great season as a rookie to Chris Olave. I don't think he was going to win the award either way, but certainly would have been nice to see him be a finalist, which he was deserving, but it's also hard to argue against Brock Purdy. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. We're going to go around the SEC when we come back. Taylor Calandro with a Bourbon Dictionary here in about 15 minutes from right now. A lot to get to. And Scott Kushner will be with us in hour number 2. We'll talk a little bit about the Pels, second of a back-to-back tonight. And also Chris Richard, Saints co-defensive coordinator. He is set to interview for the Miami Dolphins DC job. I want to talk about that because the Saints could be losing both of their co-defensive coordinators off of this staff if Ryan Nielsen does, in fact, get the Falcons job. So a lot we're going to get to coming up, and we're glad to have you aboard with us here on the Hump Day edition of AFR. Stick around. Well, I don't know that the affiliates. That's fine, but I don't know if the affiliates know to go to break. All right. Affiliates go to break. All right, get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. GetGordon.com. Go to GetGordon.com. 888-8888. 888-8888. That's, of course, the phone number. Or you could always log on to GetGordon.com. So a lot of different things to tell you about. And we're excited about a lot of the partnerships here in 2023. Of course, Kim Mulkey has joined the G team. Baseball season is right around the corner.
AFR.
So do I start now? I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to remind you about Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon and get it done. I think you know what? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tag this in 15 seconds. We're going to hit the rest of the break, and then we'll carry it. It's okay. It's all good. It happens. All right. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Very understanding people as well. We'll tell you much more about them. Enter the Get Gordon Dance Challenge. You know what to do. This is the most memorable read for Gordon I've ever done. Get Gordon and get it done.
Toyota in Opelousas is here to help you ring in the new year with no markups, and you'll never pay over MSRP. And we have new inventory arriving daily. So Happy New Year from our Corvell Toyota family to yours.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Have you ever heard the tale of the misunderstood bull? A menacing beast that was born to float. A force of nature. The embodiment of grace. Quite grand, yet quiet and nimble. The Infiniti QX80.
Experience the Infiniti QX80 at your local Infiniti retailer.
I've got that blue sky. I've got
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can.
Shout out to a couple of LSU women's basketball signees. Aaliyah Del Rosario and Michaela Williams, both named McDonald's All-American. So this is the second consecutive year that Kim Mulkey is signed a McDonald's All-American. Of course, Flau'jae Johnson was a year ago and has been one of the top freshmen in the SEC this year. So Michaela Williams is the reigning Louisiana Gatorade Player of the Year. She averaged 22 and 8. It's just crazy at Parkway last year. And Del Rosario, she's a 5-star who's the top true big in the country. So a couple of McDonald's All-Americans join us. So I always say, man, even if Kim Mulkey's squad this year doesn't win the national championship, which just saying that as an assumption is so bizarre considering how quickly and rapidly Kim Mulkey has built this roster and this program back to an elite level. When you add those players next year, including Williams, who's the top player in the country, you add that to Flau'jae Johnson and Angel Reese and this core. If they're not going to be the favorite to win the national championship next year, they're going to be on the very, 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 very short list. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro here in less than 10 minutes. Right now, though, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Tennessee Volunteers.
How about Josh Heupel? He got paid. Contract extension that'll pay him $9 million per year. Your boy, when he was hired, was making $4 million. Last year, they bumped him to $5 million. Now an increase of $4 million per year. Is good to be Josh Heupel. Of course, he is 18-8 in 2 seasons. We always look at the buyout. It'll be 100% of what he was owed if he's terminated before December 15th, 2025.
The Florida Gators.
Former top 40 overall prospect in the country, Keonta Goodwin, is a massive offensive lineman, 6'8", 351. He played his freshman year at Kentucky. He entered the portal and now is officially joining Florida with 3 years of eligibility remaining. He was a 5-star, the number 33 overall prospect in the country, 5th best offensive tackle, best player in the state of Indiana, played just 1 season at Kentucky, will finish up at Florida. Had offers from Bama, Michigan, Michigan State, Georgia, A&M, basically everybody. He's the 3rd D1 offensive lineman to transfer to Florida this offseason.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss picked up a commitment from JUCO offensive tackle Mana Taimani from California. He comes to Ole Miss with 3 years of eligibility remaining, 6'5", 310. Offers from Ole Miss, Auburn, Oklahoma State, Liberty, UNLV, Texas State, and others. He was a 3-star prospect coming out of high school. Spent a year there at JUCO, 3 years now to play at Ole Miss. On the hardwood last night, Arkansas had no problems with LSU. 60-40 was the final. Mizzou went down to Oxford and continued Kermit Davis's struggles. 89-77, Missouri a winner there in Oxford. And Kentucky took care of Vandy 69-53. That game was in Nashville. The conference slate continues tonight. Georgia is at Tennessee. South Carolina visits Florida. Number 2, Alabama hosts Mississippi State. And 15th ranked Auburn hosts Texas A&M, which is a couple of one-loss teams in the league. Texas A&M suffered their first conference loss of the year this past weekend against Kentucky. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you always get from our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, the official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Pelicans, and the ULL Raging Cajuns. Great community partners. They do incredible business, and they're here to help you. It's Gulf Coast Office Products, gcopnet.com. All right, it is After Further Review. We're glad you're with us here. Scott Kushner in 30 minutes. Pels lost last night, but they are getting Brandon Ingram back for the game tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So Pelicans, amid a 5-game slide, they're still 4th currently in the Western Conference. So despite the slide, still in a good spot. But, man, they're 4th, but they're 4 games out of 13th. So it goes to show you the logjam that exists right now in the Western Conference. Pels are a 3-point home favorite tonight against Minnesota. See if they can get off the schneid. All right, let me knock out a quick break, y'all. We'll wrap up hour number 1 when we come back. Taylor Calandro will be with us for a little Bourbon Dictionary. You know the drill. Get your questions in. You can email us. You can tweet us at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the
Twitter world.
Thank you, Juice. You can jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel, or you can text your questions for Taylor in the 225 at 396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Bourbon Dictionary to wrap up hour number 1 next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place, agent225.com. And I tell you all the time, man. I tell you all the time about all the awards Darren's won. You look at the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1% of realtors in America. Darren's on it. Of course he is. He's actually in the top 100 in America, which is insane to think. But it's such a hat tip to a guy that works so hard to get his people, his process, his product all in place. Speaking of that process, told you this before, but Darren has a 150-point marketing plan. I always tell you, if you have another realtor, ask them to see their plan to sell your home. And then ask Darren James. Or better yet, just text the word plan, P-L-A-N. Text the word plan, P-L-A-N, to 88,000. That's text the word plan to 88000. Immediately, you'll get a file link back with Darren's 150-point marketing plan. Call Darren James and get your home sold.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I
had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number one. Let's get it. Let's talk booze. Got your questions. Get them in for Taylor Calandro. You know how to get your questions in. Fire away. How are you, dude?
Good, Matt. I'm a little chilly, but I'm good otherwise.
Chilly because it's cold outside?
Yeah, it's a little chilly outside.
Yeah, I know.
Windy.
I'm not down with the cold weather. You did all right with all the wind, however, last night in bad weather?
My wife, quote unquote, said I snored through everything last night. So.
Is snoring a problem?
Apparently.
So, hostage tape. Just look into it. It's really weird. You tape your mouth shut, but I've done it, and Erica says it's helped my snoring immensely. Like it's just sort of a light murmur now. It's crazy. Okay. It makes you breathe through your nose. It's like vented tape you put over your mouth. I'm dead serious. I mean, obviously all of the bots are listening when we talk about snoring. And so I start getting targeted ads for hostage tape, and I'm dead serious. It's tape you put over your mouth when you sleep.
Hostage, like duct tape?
Bro, hostage tape. Like if you were holding someone hostage and you're putting tape over them. Yes, I get it. And you're going to look at the images and you're going to go, this looks creepy and intense. And I'm with you. And the first night was really, really, really weird. I mean,
this is ridiculous.
It is, but I'm telling you, it works. Like
how have I not heard about this? Snoring
had become a problem. Flatly, snoring had become a problem in our house. And
I've lost a lot of weight. It hasn't been an issue, but apparently lately I've just been really tired and snoring a lot. So
Okay.
Anyway, the snoring kept her up. It wasn't the weather.
Got it. Okay. Let's
You've probably gotten that same lecture.
For sure. Let's get to some questions here. Jay Butcher said, ask Taylor, what do you think about Bardstown Discovery number 8?
Everything that I've tried from Bardstown has been above average or better, I would say. Everything, literally. I have not tried one thing from them and I was like, ooh, this is gross. Everything I've tried from them has been good.
Okay. This is one that's, let's see, Patrick said, ask Taylor about this whiskey. It's one my son asked him about last week. He said he had not known about it mixed well. It's called, this is the First Call Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. Have you had it, seen it yet?
First Call, no, I have heard of it, but I have not tried it. Is that a Total Wine brand?
I have no idea.
Total Wine. I think it's a Total Wine brand.
I have no idea. It doesn't say that on the label, the picture that he sent me. Either way, we'll just move on.
Well, it won't. It won't. It's a private label, but I'm not sure. No, I haven't had it, but I have seen it. No.
Okay. Adam Whidden said, ask Taylor, suggest a high-end whiskey that's reasonably available to celebrate a life event. It's a good question.
That's reasonably available. God, these questions are so hard because everything I think of is not reasonably available.
I know.
Man, you know what's reasonably available, and you hate this brand, and it's hard to get. Garrison Brothers Cowboy Bourbon.
Don't do it.
It's really, really good.
Don't do it.
It's high-end, too.
I refuse to allow it. Whoever that was that sent that, do not buy Garrison Brothers. Don't do it. I refuse to allow it. That will not stand here. I veto Taylor's suggestion. Brian Chandler said, ask Taylor, Midwinter Night's Dram, is it a good buy at $199?
I love Midwinter Night's Dram. That is almost double retail. So take that for what it's worth. I think it's one of the best ryes that's released every year. I would spend $200 on it if I absolutely 1,000% had to.
How available? So I've been lucky in that I've gotten a dram every year since I've started my whiskey hobby.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe my opinion on the matter is a bit skewed. For those that don't know, that's from High West out in Utah. It's magnificent. It's their best, most allocated annual offering. How difficult is it to get a dram?
On a yearly basis, we get, I would say, 6 to 12 bottles, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's it the whole year. So, it's always in the raffle too. And I always talk that bottle up a lot because some people aren't familiar with it. It's not super mainstream, I wouldn't say. I mean, it's becoming more, but it's not like a Pappy or something like that. But it's very, very good if you can find it. It's hard to find it, and at $200, like I said, that is way above retail. However, if you are desperate and you cannot find it anywhere else, I'd jump at $200, no doubt about it.
I've seen it priced way higher than $200.
Yeah,
I'm not all about paying over retail for whiskey, but I have seen it priced higher than that. So, but you're right. Make your own decisions and no judgment.
It's a very good question because that price would makes you kind of think about it.
Yep.
Usually the price doesn't, but that makes me think.
Right. Craig Dugas had asked Taylor, what's a good whiskey to make LSU basketball watchable while drowning out the sorrows of not having the general leading the charge?
Good Lord have mercy. Man, something hardcore. How about some Chicken Cock Island Rye?
I love it. Brandon Fredericks.
For the island vibe.
I need it. Brandon Fredericks had asked Taylor, what's the best bottled and bond out there right now, and why such the craze for that now? What makes it special?
The best bottled and bond right now? Any of the old Fitzgerald decanters. I've tried several of them. They're outstanding.
Good luck.
Good luck. Any bottle and bond I'm going to say is good luck, probably.
Yeah.
So, but the old Fitzgerald decanter series, every one I've tried has been good.
Well, you can. I'll give you an example. One that is super attainable, and I do like my the temperature that I like. So something that's bottled and bond, which is 100 proof, by the way, along with other specifications. 1792, maybe a year or two ago, started making a bottled and bond whiskey. It's got the yellow label around the neck of the bottle. It's $35, something like that. It's magnificent at $35.
I like bottling and bond in general because, like you said, the main thing is the 100 proof, and I'm a proof guy just because of the way I drink. But I dig 100 proof whiskey, so it's hard for me to come across a bottle and bond that I don't like. Now there have been, they do exist, but it's hard.
Yeah, I forgot that we're inside of a minute. I forgot to ask what's new at the store.
We had a bunch of new Nulu stuff in at the end of the week last week. A few, like 4 or 5 different things, a couple experimental finished Nulu. So they're not super expensive either, and I can't remember them specifically, but we got 4 or 5 different Nulus in. And we got some more Heaven's Door 10-year in too. We had a lot of that during the holidays and went away, but now it's back.
He is Taylor Calandro from Calandro's. All right, man, we appreciate it. Have a great week.
All right, man, you too. Thanks.
All right, man, we'll talk again next week. Hour number 2. Is Dov Kleeman a real person? That's next.
AFR.
I'm dead serious. I think he's fake. You know what's not fake? South Point Volkswagen. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. You know what's not fake? The vehicles they have on the lot. For roughly 2 years now, it has been hard for a lot of car dealerships to get inventory on the lot. Not at South Point Volkswagen. You drive by new and certified pre-owned, they have inventory on the lot at South Point Volkswagen. You could do the inventory search right there on the homepage. Search by year, make, body style, price. They got it at South Point Volkswagen. And if they don't have what you're looking for, they'll order it for you to the exact specifications. As a matter of fact, we're going through that right now because Erica drives an Atlas. She wants a Cross Sport, which takes out the third row. Little shorter, sleeker design in the back. She wants white with tan leather interior, souped up package, blacked out rims. So, got to order it. We're doing it. South Point's helping. South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ATEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $8,500 off new 2022 Ram 1500s. New 2022 Ram 1500 trucks on our lot now with $8,500 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Have you ever heard the tale of the misunderstood bull? A menacing beast who was born to float. A force of nature. The embodiment of grace. Quite grand, yet quiet and nimble. The Infinity QX80.
Experience the Infinity QX80 at your local Infinity retailer.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. 3 words from Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes today put an end to any question about his availability for Sunday's AFC title game against the Bengals. Ready to go. Mahomes has continued to get treatment on his high ankle sprain. He said the ankle has progressed. He did take part in today's practice. Considering he's 0-3 all-time versus his Cincinnati counterpart Joe Burrow, Sunday is a big day for Mahomes, explains our Harry Douglas.
His legacy is already cemented. Now you want to start adding things to it. And when I mean adding things to it, what's on the line for Patrick Mahomes within this ball game? You get another opportunity to go play for a second Super Bowl that you want to add to your resume. You get an opportunity to keep that crown that you now wear, because it's not Joe Burrow's, it is Patrick Mahomes. You get an opportunity to keep that crown.
Harry Douglas of Fitz and Harry. Mahomes, Burrow, Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts, Bills QB Josh Allen, and Vikings receiver Justin Jefferson, all finalists for Associated Press 2022 NFL MVP. NBA Anthony Davis in line to return to the Lakers from a foot injury tonight versus the Spurs, reports ESPN's Dave McMenamin.
Coming up Thursday, A.J. Brown, Deebo Samuel, Jamar Chase, and Travis Kelce. I'll tell you which receiver will have the biggest impact on Sunday's game. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid! Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso, who is shaking his head in disgusted disapproval of my telling the kid to shut up. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We are continuing to follow the goings-on with Sean Payton. Jeff Duncan was here with us yesterday. Duncan said, if you might remember, this was, by the way, this was Jeff Duncan on AFR yesterday when I asked him specifically about the possibility and maybe growing likelihood of Sean Payton returning to TV for another year.
Sean Payton has been leaning to staying at Fox from the outset. So that's where he was at before he went into the interview process. And from people close to him, they told me he would need to be blown away or made an offer he couldn't refuse that was too good to be true to leave. So it's more than likely that's where he's at right now, because he obviously hasn't had an offer yet, and it's going to have to be something spectacular. So I think he came into it with that being where he was going to be next year.
How about that? So Jeff Duncan yesterday on this show said Sean Payton does not have an offer yet and is leaning toward returning to television. Today, Ian Rappaport on the NFL Network, and I'm going to play the video here, Muse, if we could, said this.
Yeah, this is interesting, Andrew, because when this all started, the assumption was as soon as Sean Payton decides where he's going to go, then everyone else will know where they're going to go, and then the coaching searches will resume from there. It's now reached a different point, and if you go through the different places that Sean Payton has interviewed, it does not seem like a second interview is coming with any of those places. First of all, the Carolina Panthers where he already interviewed, have Frank Reich and Steve Wilkes, along with Kellen Moore, in for second/first interviews there. That seems to be the list as of now. You have the Denver Broncos, who seem to be focusing their attention elsewhere. Not saying he's out, but they do seem to be focusing elsewhere. You have the Houston Texans, who have not yet requested a second interview with Sean Payton. And then he's going to the Arizona Cardinals for a first interview. That is going to be tomorrow, assuming they get through the Dan Quinn interview and make no moves today. So what am I saying, Mike Garafolo? I'm saying that as of right now, it does not seem like there is a place for Sean Payton. We'll see, but it does not seem like there is a place in the coaching world right now.
How fascinating would that be if Sean Payton ends up back at Fox for another year? From the Saints' perspective, that would be awful. I mean, all of us that discuss this team, our conversations about the Saints this offseason start with whatever compensation the Saints are going to get for Sean Payton wherever he inevitably coaches. And now you have a lot of reports saying that Sean Payton is likely leaning toward going back to Fox. Now, Diana Rossini's report yesterday that there's a mystery team that could jump in the mix. That's interesting to see if somebody could jump in late in the process and swoop up Sean Payton, which I'm hoping happens. I want Sean Payton coaching somewhere next year because I want the draft capital. The Saints need it. They desperately need it. And if he coaches next, or if he goes back to Fox and then comes back to coaching for 2024, the asking price goes way down because you lose so much leverage because you only have his rights for one more year. So I'm waiting like all of y'all, but man, I do not like the direction that this seems to be turning when both local and national reporters are essentially saying the same thing independent of each other. We'll, of course, continue to watch it. All right, it's after further review. Brought to you by Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com. I want to get to some news about one of the Saints' assistant coaches here in just a quick second. But Mold Zero USA, live in a mold-free home, work in a mold-free office. If you have mold or think you might have mold, call Jim Woodworth and the gang over at Mold Zero. They'll come by. They'll give you that whole free estimate on your building. But, man, if you're thinking, gosh, I got mold, I got to cut sheetrock, I got to pull out insulation. No. Call Mold Zero. Patented non-toxic dry fog. They come in, they spray the fog, they let it dwell. It'll kill the mold, all the sporing as well, let the fog dissipate. Once it does, you're free and clear to go back in the home, office, building, whatever it may be, completely mold-free, fresh-smelling, free of other pathogens as well. Learn more at Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com. A healthy solution to a mold-free home. Mold Zero USA. Saints co-defensive coordinator Chris Richard is set to interview for the Miami Dolphins DC job. This after the Saints' other co-defensive coordinator, Ryan Nielsen, interviewed for the Falcons DC job. So the Saints could in theory, lose both of their co-defensive coordinators this year. Now, a lot of people wanted to see changes on this coaching staff after a 7-10 season. I don't know that any of us were pointing to the defensive side of the ball because that's where Dennis Allen is sort of running things anyway. We all wanted to see changes on the offensive side, and that clearly isn't coming. I'll remind you of this. When Dennis Allen was hired, at his introductory press conference, he was asked if he was going to continue calling the defense. This is what he said.
I was telling somebody before, it's hard to turn your baby over. You know what I mean? And so I see myself, still, being heavily involved there and heavily involved with the game plan and even potentially the play calling.
It's interesting how a lot of people laughed then, felt like you could chuckle and be lighthearted at the introductory press conference. When you're 7-10, it's not quite as funny. So if they lose Chris Richard, if they lose Ryan Nielsen, I'm not going to sit here and say that that's a net zero. It's not a zero-sum equation, but it's Dennis Allen's calling your defense anyway. And if he's calling your defense and implementing what he wants, the defense has been good, and I have no problem with that. We've talked about that. Dennis Allen, I think, is an elite defensive coordinator in the NFL. Okay. So if he's going to keep calling the defense, then I really don't care who he hires and gives the title as co-defensive coordinator. You're basically just finding someone else to work in your secondary and with your D-line to replace Nielsen and Richard. The bigger issue is what do you do to fix your offense on your staff and on the field? And that is certainly a more complicated question. There does not seem to be any easy answers as of right now. right, Scott Kushner's coming up in a minute. I think this might be groundbreaking to some of you. I think Dov Kleeman is a fake person. I'm being serious, by the way. This is not a joke. It's not a bit. I think Dov Kleeman, many of you are familiar, if you're on Twitter, with the name Dov Kleeman. And he's got a verified Twitter account with 115 followers. And I think that this is not a real person. I do not follow. Look, Paul, you can pull this up. This is Dov Kleeman's Twitter. I do not follow him on Twitter, by the way. But his profile picture is a, how would you describe this? Is it like a digital, what would that be called?
Yeah, no, I think avatar is a good Bitmoji, maybe. Something like that.
It's not a photo.
Right.
It is, so it's not a real person. There's no affiliation. It just says cover the NFL and keep people updated about transaction. Recommend to turn on notifications, contact via DM. So there's no affiliation. If you search Dov Kleeman on the internet, you cannot find a record anywhere of Dov Kleeman working anywhere, and you cannot find a photo of him. Now tell me any person in humanity, anyone in this room, you can open your mic and tell me, is there any person in humanity that could have 115,000 Twitter followers, yet when you do a search on Google, you cannot find a picture or any record of them working anywhere on the entire World Wide Web?
Yeah, that seems unlikely.
At best, unlikely. I'm telling you, Dov Kleeman is not a real person. Like, there is no such person. Somebody just, and when you look at the tweets, all they are, it's just, they're all secondhand accumulations of info. For example, the most recent tweet is just retweeting a video of Deebo Samuel, retweeting Micah Parsons, using basically other people's information and then tweeting it secondhand and crediting Schefter or Rapp or whoever. That's all it is. Whoever that is has everybody fooled. So Dov Kleeman right now does have an Outkick. So there's like if you go to Outkick, Dov Kleeman's there. But it may just be a Clay Travis iteration. Like maybe Clay came up with this fake person or contacted the fake person via DM and it's like, hey, let's have Dov Kleeman work for Outkick to be whatever. But I think Dov Kleeman is a fake person. I don't believe this is a real human. Because if it were, wouldn't Dov Kleeman have shown up somewhere on some network, somewhere?
In some press box.
In some type of, right, exactly. So nowhere. Doesn't exist. So I think it's a fake person. So I want to do the same thing. Okay. I want to come up with a faux NFL reporter. Fake name. Call it like Greg Gregory or something. I don't care. We'll come up with a fake name. We'll have just like a picture of the NFL shield as the photo, as the avatar, or something, and we'll put something very similar. Now that you can pay for your blue check mark, that's easy, $8, right? Whatever Elon's charging for the blue check marks, and then just do that. Set notifications for Schefter, for Rappaport, all those people, and whenever they report something, we just report it per so and so, or so and so had it first, right?
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
That's it. And then you just see how many you can build. I bet you we could build a Twitter following that big. And some people can say, well, why you're talking about it, you're letting the cat out of the bag. I'm realistic. I exist in a small corner of the world. All right? I mean, like, all of Twitter.com isn't listening to this radio show and will not know. All of our audience isn't even going to follow what I'm saying right now, but I want to do this. I want to see, like, and we'll make George Jefferson the official NFL reporter of AFR.
You really did move on up.
Yeah, right. There you go. Hey. All right.
His Outkick profile says NFL reporter covering the league for 6 years for various outlets. But mostly independently.
Please tell me all those outlets.
Various outlets.
I'm telling you, Dov Kleeman is a fake person. That is not a real human. I came to this recollection, this realization this weekend. Dov Kleeman is not real. It is a made up iteration of an NFL reporter, and someone's just laughing their ass off right now that all these people are following Dov. But it's not a bad account. Like, if the account were NFL news, right, just sharing NFL news stories, okay, it's one place that follows all these NFL news sources and accumulates them all in one place. Okay, that's not a bad account. They're just passing themselves off as a person who doesn't actually exist. There is no Dov Kleiman. Did I blow your mind today?
I wouldn't say blown my mind, but I mean...
You believe me?
Yeah, the evidence supports your argument.
Paul?
That thought was always in my mind.
Yep. Twitter question today? Poll question?
You want to tag him in it?
Is Dov Kleiman an actual person? Yes or no?
Okay. Yeah.
He's a made-up Twitter guy. Does not exist. I'm telling you, there's no such human being named Dov Kleiman. That covers the NFL. All right, Scott Kushner is a real human. I know Scott Kushner, and he covers the New Orleans Pelicans, who play basketball tonight. So we'll talk a little shooty hoop with Scott Kushner next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Get to Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com, and go to Rouse's.com because that, my friends, is where you can order your king cakes. Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. It's carnival time, and if you want to give your friends, family outside of Louisiana a taste of Louisiana this carnival season, Rouse's can help you do it. Go to Rouse's.com. You'll see right there on the homepage the King Cakes tab. Hit it, and then boom, bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. There are all of your king cake options from Rouse's. They've got the traditional. They've got the filled king cake with whichever filling you want. They've got the black and gold king cake. They've even got like the parade packages that have beads and doubloons and other things in there as well, so different pricing options, and they'll ship anywhere in the country. So if you have a client in a different part of the country or family members that are missing home, ship them a king cake from Rouse's. Go to Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Pels have lost 5 in a row, so let's talk to a guy that knows a lot about being a sports fan living in agony. Scott Kushner, noted Tennessee fan, joins us. How are you, Scotty?
I'm okay, man. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing, not so great. I want the team to be doing better than they are. So tell me, how should I be feeling right now amid this 5-game losing streak? Help me.
I mean, it's more than 5 games, right? They've lost 10 out of 13, and they've really slipped. It wasn't that long ago. They were number 1 in the West, and now they wake up today and they're 8 games back. That is a heck of a fall. I mean, in 2023, this team was the 1 seed at one point. So it is pretty crazy to think of how fast things have gotten away. But, I mean, the explanation is very, very simple, which is when you don't have your 2 best players, it is very difficult to win NBA basketball games.
That is absolutely true. And I'm only sort of operating in jest there. You had a good year. Look, Tennessee won the Orange Bowl. Tulane won the Cotton Bowl. I mean, a good year. Okay, so good vibes, good mojo. It's all just in fun here. Okay, now, tonight they are going to get BI back. So what is a realistic expectation for how they sort of ease Brandon Ingram back into the rotation?
Knowing this staff and the way they've operated in the past, I don't think they're going to run him out there and play him 35 minutes. I think you'll probably see a gradual ramp-up time just to make sure he's got his legs underneath him and all that kind of stuff. You probably start around the 20-minute mark, and then by, a week or 2, he'll be, playing the full allotment of minutes. I don't even think it's that big of a concern because it's not as if it's a toe, I don't think there's much you can really do to it when you're on the floor. It's not like a hamstring or something that tightens or something that seems open to re-aggravation necessarily. So other than conditioning, I don't think there's much risk at this point.
So how, for tonight specifically, let's say you're right and BI gives them 20 minutes against Minnesota, how much of an impact is that for this particular game?
I mean, it really helps them tremendously depending on the minutes that he's able to play. But they just need someone to provide some pressure relief. Like C.J. McCollum is having to do so much, and then when it comes down to him at the end of the game, it just seems like too much for him to handle, and I think he's exhausted the amount that he's having to do, and you just don't have a lot of reliable bodies at this point. Like, this is a team that was so deep, and they are deep, but they're not deep when you're playing your 8th guy, 38 minutes a night, which is what they were having to do for a lot of the last 2 weeks. So it definitely helps. Every minute he's on the floor helps significantly because if nothing else, it peels one defender and sometimes 2 defenders away from someone like C.J. McCollum or someone like Trey Murphy.
And Scott Kushner is our guest. The really difficult part of this stretch has been they just have been sans any real offensive weapons, right? I mean, they scored 98 points last night, 96 in the loss to the Heat, 98 in the loss at home to the Heat. I can go 103 against Cleveland. I mean, it's just they can't score. So, go ahead, please.
No, you're right. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of, inside analysis to look at those numbers and say, yeah, this is kind of a huge difference from when Zion was playing and they were scoring in the 120s every night. They're playing, at a decent pace. It's not as if they're like the slowest team in the NBA now. They're just missing a lot of shots. They don't get the same level of second chances. All those kinds of things just really they're just not adding up. And you need someone to go to possession after possession after possession. And right now that guy is C.J. McCollum, and he has the ability on the right night to fill it up, but there's really no one else around him. Trey Murphy, I think, played 40 minutes in Miami. That's just a crazy number to have to play someone like him. And you're just getting to the fourth quarter, and you can see, except for last night where Jose Alvarado kind of took over, you can just see this team starting to fade as they get into those moments. And they really badly need someone to go to because they have a great offensive team when they're all there. That
is true. And the other piece, obviously, is Zion. So we know it's going to be 2 more weeks. And when you look at the timeline, that's a week before the All-Star game. My assumption is, look, they're just going to bring him back after the All-Star game. What say you?
Yeah, they might try. If the images are what they hope they are, they might try to get him out there, for 15, 20 minutes, kind of ease him in and then allow him to condition during the All-Star break, and then he'll be able to play more of a full allotment. That would be kind of the best-case scenario. If knowing the history of Zion Williamson in New Orleans and what I would suspect you won't see until after the All-Star break. They're always cautious. And if there's a 50-50 tie, they always seem to go toward caution.
Look at zoom out and do the 10,000-foot view for me right now, because I can look and see this team in the 4 seed right now, but I can also see how, they're just 4 games ahead of the Lakers, who are 13th, right? So you're not far from being completely out of the conversation. Zoom out, look ahead, and give me what you think is a realistic path forward for this team over the next 2 months.
I think you have to recalibrate where they are from when we were looking at the 1 seed not long ago to now going to where the preseason expectation was, which is basically hoping to be a playoff team and avoid the play-in. And I think that is a reasonable goal, but that's a tough goal too, because notwithstanding Sacramento, who's kind of playing over their heads, I think in a lot of ways, Phoenix has not had a good season. They're going to move up, you would think. Golden State has not had a good season at all. They're probably going to move up a bit. So in order to and the Lakers, when Anthony Davis comes back, they're going to be a lot better. So in order to fend off all those teams and manage to stay in the top 6, it's going to take a lot better performance than they've done the last 3 weeks. And if Zion's playing and if Brandon Ingram is playing, I don't think there's much of a concern. But if they're out again for an extended period of time, Brandon Ingram is half the season already. Yeah. So it is crazy to think that they're even, have a winning record without him for this many games. But if he gets hurt again, what are you dealing with here? And so trying to stay out of that play, and I think is huge. I don't see them slipping beyond 10. Something catastrophic would have to happen for them to slip out of the playoff, honestly.
He is Scott Kushner on Twitter at Scott D. Kushner. Pels tonight at home against Minnesota. New Orleans is a 3-point favorite, hoping to end this 5-game skid, and I think they'll do it. Hey, if you could take Rick Barnes or Tony Vitello, you could only have one. Who are you taking?
No, Tony Vitello, 100 times out of 100.
You're such a loser. Oh, my God.
I'm not Rick Barnes. I can't even get excited, man. I know what's going to happen. The second round, they're going to play an 11 seed, and they're going to lose. I know what's going to happen.
As opposed to being the best team in the country and losing in your home super regional Notre Dame.
That happened once. That has happened one time.
Yeah, that's true. And
Rick Barnes has done this 12 times.
Okay, no, he has been to a Final Four, though.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
It was in New Orleans.
It was.
I was there. TJ Ford. That was Dwayne Wade, TJ Ford, Carmelo. That was a great Final Four, man. You had Heinrich and Nick Collison for Kansas. That was Roy Williams' final game as the Kansas head coach before he became the North Carolina head coach.
That was a great Final Four. Yeah,
Hakeem
I'm really
Warwick.
Looking forward to the Jerry McNamara. Was that his name?
Jerry, I sat in the upper deck of the Dome for the championship game watching Jerry McNamara rain threes. I was basically looking at the top of the goal, just watching it fall in the hoop. It's a terrible seat, but really cool to be there either way.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that weekend in Baton Rouge. Is it first weekend of April? Is that when the Vols come to Baton Rouge?
For the baseball series? Yeah, get ready because Paul Skeens is coming right up your donkey, Kushner. It's coming. Tommy White, Tommy Tanks. Guess what's coming? All weekend long. Tony Vitello.
We moved on to baseball in Baton Rouge. Basketball.
Well, of course. Have you been watching? Have you been watching the LSU basketball team? Like, it is really difficult.
I watched Saturday.
Yeah, it is really difficult to find ways to talk about the team. If you missed it, Scotty, go back and watch the Open to Today's show, and you'll see what I've had to resort to try to have something entertaining to discuss with LSU basketball. I'm not going to give anything else away. I'm just going to say go. And for those, if you're listening or watching as well, and you missed the Open of the show, just go back and watch the Open of the show. Okay?
It's an ugly scene out there.
But if you watch the Open of the show, all I'll say is it could be way worse.
Now I'm excited.
Yes. How about that for a tease, friends? All right.
A backward tease.
That's true. But still a tease. Go watch the beginning of the show. All right. He's on Twitter at Scott D. Kushner. Yeah, he covers the Pels. Y'all go give him a follow there. Read all his stuff and all that good stuff, and we'll make fun of him more about Tennessee later. But it's it's hard to do. Ball's had a good year, good baseball year, good football year. Basketball teams playing well. It's getting harder to take those pot shots at you, Scotty.
Good department, no championships. That's the way it goes.
Okay.
Competitive and everything, just kicking you in the teeth at a higher level. That's my fault.
Okay. I knew you wouldn't let me down. Thank you for the time as always. We'll see you.
See you, man.
All right. It's after further review. We'll do overrated, underrated next.
AFR.
Hump Day shows brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, Bluebonnet. Dine in, carry out, or delivery tonight and every Wednesday, trivia night. So it's a great time to get by Pluckers. You can play live action trivia, get your team together. No limit on the number of players you could have on your team. Every team, no matter if you win a round or not, you get to spin the prize wheel, and you could win free food from Pluckers. You could win Amazon gift cards, other great prizes from local retailers, award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV. Every Wednesday you got trivia. 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson tonight, and every Wednesday at Pluckers. So, get on by Pluckers. Watch the Pels beat the T-Wolves tonight, and test your knowledge with Pluckers Trivia. That's at Pluckers. Dine in, carry out, or deliver. Remember, at Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Bayou Ford has $4,000 off MSRP plus $1,000 Ford credit cash on new 22 Ford F-150 XLT trucks. That's $5,000 off plus 0% financing. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
You ever heard the tale of the misunderstood bull? A menacing beast that was born to float. A force of nature. The embodiment of grace. Quite grand, yet quiet and nimble. The Infinity QX80.
Experience the Infinity QX80 at your local Infinity retailer.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we're going to get to overrated, underrated here in just a second, but let's throw it to old Muse here to get an update on the poll question. What you got there, Muse?
So today's Citizens Bank poll question of the day is regarding NFL reporter Dov Kleiman or Kleeman.
I'm going Kleeman.
Kleeman, okay. Is Dov Kleiman a real person?
No.
57% say yes.
I think they're being duped.
Okay.
Do you agree?
No, I do. I mean, after looking at the evidence presented,
I've convinced you.
I do, yeah.
Dov Kleiman is not a real person. It's there was a human running that account, but there was no such person as Dov Kleiman.
Right. That's what we mean with the question.
Yes. There is no such person as Dov Kleiman. There was no person. Or if there is a Dov Kleiman, it's like that was whoever's running that account. It was like the bully in third grade wherever they went to school. So they named, the account Dov Kleiman or whatever.
Oh, that'd be good if it actually is like a person, but it's not him doing it. They just named it after him.
Fun fact. Motivational speaker bit that Chris Farley did. Matt Foley.
Matt Foley, yeah.
Matt Foley was a friend of Chris Farley's, who's a priest. He's Father Matt Foley.
That's so good. That makes that bit even better now.
They told the story that when Farley was at Second City, which is the improv group out of Chicago, Farley was doing the bit. They called it motivational speaker, and he would make it up a different name for the character every time. Well, one time he was doing it, his friends went to see him, and Father Matt Foley was like in the front row. So he said, "I'm Matt Foley," and that's the name that stuck. Father Matt Foley. How about that?
That's so good.
How you like that? That's a fact, though, by the way. That's on the Chris Farley.
Whenever
they did the what do you call it? Like a documentary, one of those Chris Farley life documentary things, and they interviewed Matt Foley and told the story. So it's an absolute fact. Unless if the priest is lying, which you want to accuse a priest of lying? It's on you. Just look out for the lightning bolts. All right, Muse, overrated, underrated. Hit it. Let's do it. Overrated, underrated.
Overrated or underrated?
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
All right.
I just realized we have
a list here.
We have graph calls from last night. I didn't see it on the sound sheet here. Give me graph.
Well,
I want graph.
All right, hold on.
Oh, it's all there on the same thing?
Yeah, I have to fix this up. Whoa, no, we got it. This is not a problem. I got a real good one for you, too.
Paulie, what's wrong with your friend?
Back down by 5 again, 89-84. Alvarado in double figures now. To the rack! Green! Rejected by Hernan Gomez. Jose taking on the team. Took on Jokic and laid it in off the window. He drove through everybody. Everyone on their feet. It's a 3-point game.
I don't think we've played any graph calls. It's been a couple weeks.
It's been a while.
And I think that coincides with the streak.
Yeah, it does.
So, you know what? I'm very mad at myself for that. Give me graph!
Jose, center of the lane, got to the rim, and another lay-in. They're just giving him free reign. Mike Malone cannot believe it. Takes another timeout. Folks, I can read his lips. It is not suitable for youth.
What a beauty. What a beauty. Overrated, underrated. Graph. Criminally underrated.
Yes.
Criminally underrated.
Overrated or underrated? Roadhouse.
Never seen it.
Huh. Well, then you have no opinion.
Nope.
And I'm not even going to tell you to watch it because I know you won't.
I won't. You know me. You know me well.
Anytime we've ever had that type of conversation, like, you've never seen that? No. Watch it. No.
Nope.
Why not?
I'm just not going to carve out time in my life space.
It's a good movie.
For that. I have very little downtime in my life. And when I do have that little downtime in my life, it will not be spent watching Roadhouse or any other old movie that someone says you need to watch this. I'm okay having that hole in my pop culture reference memory bank in conversation. I'm good not having it.
I get it.
I'm
Classic
fine.
movie, though.
Sure.
Overrated or underrated? Tony Gonzalez.
The tight end?
Yeah.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
He's properly rated.
Okay.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
People say outlandish things sometimes, Matt. I don't know.
Is someone suggesting he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame?
I'm sure somebody along the way has done that. I mean, look at the Baseball Hall of Fame. They just left out everybody again, except for like one person. But whatever. I mean, I'm sure some knucklehead doesn't agree with it.
Scott Rowland got in.
Yeah.
That surprises me.
Exactly. Scott Rowland, overrated or underrated?
Scott Rowland's a Hall of Famer. He's overrated. Congrats on a great career. Long career. Not a Hall of Famer.
All right, yeah, I mean, that's what I mean then, right? I mean, some people say outlandish stuff, do outlandish things.
The Baseball Hall of Fame is inherently flawed.
They left out Todd Helton.
We talk about it all the time, about the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's annoying. You know what? And I'll tell you, maybe I could stand to be corrected on Scott Rowland. Like, I remember having this conversation with Terrio about, who am I thinking of? Alan Trammell, who's Terrio says one of his favorite people ever. And he challenged him. He's like, go look at Alan Trammell's numbers next to, say, Ozzie Smith or someone like that. It's incredible. Like, he's absolutely worthy. He just had a career that maybe we don't put up with others. So Scott Rowland played 17 years, 2,000 hits.
That's good.
Career. It's fantastic. But, I mean, the bar of 3,000, he falls woefully short there. His career batting average of 281.
That's okay.
316 career homers. It's not the hall of guys who played for a long time. Anyway. No, I wouldn't have Scott Rowland. Congrats to him, though. Great honor.
Yeah, I should have put in Todd Helton.
I put in Todd Helton over Scott Rowland.
Yeah. He was 11 votes short, Todd Helton. Overrated or underrated? Chicago, Illinois.
People are going to like this, man. Chicago is horribly overrated. I spent a lot of time in Chicago. Sports fans are horrendously rude, and the weather sucks. I mean, they call it the Windy City. You got wind coming right off of Lake Michigan. You get lake effect snow from October to May. It's bitterly cold. It's just an overrated city. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, you can find big city life in other places at a grander scale or as grand a scale without a lot of the drawbacks that you have in Chicago. So Chicago's overrated.
Overrated or underrated? Chocolate chips.
I think chocolate chips are properly rated. You put them in cookies. You can eat them alone. You can have them in ice cream. It's fine. I think it's properly rated. I don't know if there's anybody that doesn't like chocolate chips, unless if you just don't like chocolate. It's a nice accent to most any dessert. Put it in whipped cream and yogurt, whatever. Yeah, I mean, chocolate chips are fine. It's properly rated. It's where it should be in the pecking order.
Pancakes and waffles.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very versatile. It's very versatile. Just chocolate. Chocolate is versatile. It's fine.
Overrated or underrated? Dennis Quaid.
So Todd Helton's also 17 years. Same as Scott Rowland. 2,500. So 500 more hits. 500 more hits. 369 homers, about 50 more homers. And a career batting average of... That's not right. That's not right.
What does it say?
Todd Helton has a career batting average of 316?
I'd believe that. Why wouldn't you believe that?
Mickey Mantle didn't have a career batting average of 300. He slumped late in his career and finished at like 299. He often talked about like his biggest regret was playing long and not being as good at the end of his career and having his career batting average fall below 300. 17 years with a career batting average of 316 is astonishing. How in the world is Todd Helton? What is the argument against Todd Helton?
It's a great question.
Like, I need to know the argument against. Is it just that he played in Colorado where numbers are inflated?
There's a reason he could have that 316 batting average.
I mean,
though,
maybe.
Right there. Let's see. He hit over 300
I'm looking at it right now. You got to count them. I mean, it's a lot of times.
10 seasons in a row, he hit over 300. 302. I'm sorry, 302 was the lowest average in that 10-year stretch.
He won the MVP.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Did he win 5 MVPs?
Looks like he won 6, right? He won 6.
What?
Or no. He didn't win any.
That's how many MVP votes he got.
Or finalists. How many times he was the finalist. Or where he finished in the race, I think is what
Got
it is.
it. Okay, got it. Okay.
But he's a 5-time All-Star.
Wow.
Gold Glove, 4-time Silver Slugger.
That's stunning.
Yeah, got left out by 11 votes.
Wow.
How about that?
I mean, if you want to leave Todd Helton out, okay. But you can't have Scott Rowland in. That's a problem. Wow. Anyway, great job, baseball writers. Losers.
Did you want to give an opinion on Dennis Quaid, or we're going to move it on and save that for next week?
I get him and Randy confused all the time.
How?
I can't remember which is which.
Well,
Which one's
Randy's
Randy,
cousin Eddie.
Okay, that's fine. But sometimes I just get confused to know which one's Dan. I mean, like, if I stand them up, I know which one's cousin Eddie and which one was in the rookie. I mean, I know which one is which.
Dennis Quaid is the rookie.
Well, I get that now.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, he's okay. Probably a little. Probably just a little overrated. If he wasn't cousin Eddie's brother, I probably would have no use for him. Done anything else other than the rookie?
Day After Tomorrow.
Didn't see it.
Huh? Again, I'm not even going to tell you to go watch it. So.
Probably in a lot of things that are just inherently forgettable.
Okay.
Good actor, but a guy that has played roles that can be played by 1,000 different people equally as effectively. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That's overrated, underrated.
All right. This is After Further Review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. We'll knock out a quick break, and Muso do Tigers and the Pros. Don't you move. Braden Fehoko in 15 minutes.
AFR.
Had a great lunch today with our friends over at New Orleans Flooring. New Orleans Flooring, 2 locations, of course, in New Orleans, Metairie to be exact, and on Airline Highway in Prairieville. So if you're going down Airline in Prairieville, you pass the Walmart, look to your right, you'll see New Orleans Flooring right there. Y'all, I'm telling you, the best part about New Orleans Flooring, aside from the service that you're going to get, go see Big Sean and the guys over at New Orleans Flooring. Big Sean, Terrell, awesome dudes. Go see them. But they cut out the middleman. Because they have 1 million square foot of product in stock, they could save you 40, 50% on flooring. And we're not talking about just cheap product. You can look at their good, better, best products compared to anybody's. You're going to get high-quality products cheaper than anywhere else. Why would you go anywhere else? It's New Orleans Flooring. Go to NOLAflooring.com. Again, online, NOLAflooring.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $8,500 off new 2022 Ram 1500s. New 2022 Ram 1500 trucks on our lot now with $8,500 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications. The powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution. A network built for every possibility. Moving faster than ever before. Streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
You ever heard the tale of the misunderstood bull? A menacing beast that was born to float. A force of nature. The embodiment of grace. Quite grand, yet quiet and nimble. The Infinity QX80.
Experience the Infinity QX80.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Braden Fehoko in about 10 minutes from right now, but right now, Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
All right, well, in case you missed it, 2019 LSU went and did 2019 LSU things again, namely just hog the MVP race for the NFL. Justin Jefferson and Joe Burrow both named finalists for NFL MVP today. You look at Justin Jefferson, over 1,800 yards receiving to lead the league, 128 receptions to lead the league. Jets was also one of two unanimous choices for AP All-Pro, along with Travis Kelce from the Kansas City Chiefs. Joe Burrow, over 4,400 yards passing, 37 touchdowns to just 12 interceptions. He also led the Bengals to back-to-back AFC North Division titles for the first time since the 80s. We'll see how it goes. Patrick Mahomes, the overwhelming favorite to take home the award. NBA G League action from last night. Darius Days, my goodness. 38 minutes.
Wow.
40 points.
Shut up.
He dropped 40.
My goodness.
Shot 70% from the floor.
That's more than 69.
Yes.
And fewer than 71.
Right there, Matt. That would have been good enough. But he had to go and add 11 rebounds to boot. 40 and 11 for Darius Days. 1 assist, 1 steal, and a block.
Pretty good.
55% from 3. Doing pretty well, that Darius Days. His team won, by the way, as well. Skylar Mays from Days to Mays, former teammates there at LSU. Skylar Mays last night, 16 minutes off the bench for the Delaware Bluecoats. 5 of 6 from the floor for 13 points for Skylar. 3 assists, 2 rebounds, and he blocked a shot as well. His team also won the game.
The good old days.
Yeah.
With Days and Mays.
Yeah.
And now it's Cam Hayes.
And
there aren't any more.
No. Man, that'd have been good, though. Oh, well.
And a general malaise.
That works. I'll allow it. Garrett Temple saw the floor last night for the Pellies.
It's just a phase.
7 minutes for Garrett Temple. He scored 2 points in that 7 minutes. Added 2 assists, plus 6, so made the most of his time. And then finally, PGA Tour. Got started a day early here. Farmers Insurance Open out at Torrey Pines. Ben Taylor, he's on the course. Scoreboard update here real fast. All righty. He is 1 over par through 13 holes. Tough day. He's tied for 110th. He is playing the easier of the two courses, the North Course at Torrey Pines. For comparison, the leader is Sam Ryder, also playing the North Course and is 8 under par. So a bit of a tough day for Ben Taylor, but he's there at 1 over here in La Jolla, California. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Soon they'll be back to their winning ways. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, the highest quality diamonds in the world at the best price. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where you will always get the Lee Michaels experience. Just walk in, no matter your budget. If you're apprehensive, don't worry. The trained professionals at Lee Michaels are going to make you feel at home with the Lee Michaels experience. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all, it is after further review. Mel Kiper's got a mock draft out. Want to run through that? We'll do that next hour. We'll get into some Pluckers trivia. A former LSU assistant coach. Well, it's Joe Brady, speaking of 2019. Where might he land? Some OC possibilities are floating out there. Going to get into that coming up in the next hour. When we come back right after SportsCenter, we'll chat with former Tiger Braden Fehoko, who was a starter for the Chargers by the end of the season. Incredible journey. We'll talk to our guy coming up right after SportsCenter. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. You get to the website to learn more, to find the location nearest you, to schedule service online, to shop tires online. You could do it there at ShawBillsTire.com. That's ShawBillsTire.com. But I always encourage you to learn more about Shawbills. If you go to the About tab, you can learn about their 50 years of service when they started in Morgan City. They've serviced the Bayou region up north into Baton Rouge, west toward Lafayette, Broussard, Youngsville. 17 locations with an 18th coming around the bend. And what you'll also read there is their customer bill of rights. They say at Shawbills their highest priority is serving customers. 100% committed to you, the valued customer. That's why they have the customer bill of rights. Rights that they pledge that your business with Shawbills will give you subject to the highest level of service from everyone in the company. It's at Shawbills. ShawBillsTire.com. They'll sell you tires at the cheapest prices and bumper-to-bumper auto service. ShawBillsTire.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Today, Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes put to rest any doubt regarding his status for Sunday's AFC Championship game versus the Bengals. He said he's ready to go. Also said he's continuing to get treatment on his high ankle sprain and that the ankle has progressed. He participated in the morning walkthrough and practice as well. With an injured Mahomes, there is one player in particular that's key for the Chiefs' offense Sunday, explains ESPN's Marcus Spears.
Outside of the offensive line, which is obvious, is Isaiah Pacheco, their running back. Listen, this is about the run game for Andy Reid. Isaiah Pacheco with 4.34, almost 4.2 speed. We saw that burst last week in the game against Jacksonville. He can be the difference maker, not only to give them a running game, but to also keep pressure off of Patrick Mahomes.
49ers running backs Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell and receiver Deebo Samuel all set out today's practice as they deal with various injury issues. Coach Kyle Shanahan, though, did express confidence they'll be able to all play in Sunday's NFC title game at Philadelphia. NBA, ESPN's Dave McMenamin reports Lakers set to welcome back Anthony Davis from a foot injury against the Spurs tonight.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier to help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
So. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Trivia night at Pluckers. T-Bob and I are at Oliver Twist for scone and tea tonight. We'll look forward to seeing y'all. I'm glad you're hanging out with us here. Really excited to catch up with our buddy Braden Fehoko, defensive tackle for the Los Angeles Chargers. Got a start in the wild card round playoff game against Jacksonville. It was really cool to see him out there on the field. He's with us now. Braden, how are you, dude?
Shoot, good, man. Never been better. Glad to be talking to some familiar voices.
Yeah, man. It's great to hear your voice. Man, I'm telling you, I was watching the wild card round game. I know it didn't go the way y'all wanted, but, man, when y'all were doing the introductions and I saw Braden Fehoko starting in a playoff game, dude, I had a gigantic smile knowing, sort of a little bit of your path to get there. Man, what was it like being a starter in an NFL playoff game?
It comes with a lot of respect and responsibility, I should say. I don't take those things lightly. Like you said, knowing, my path to get to where I am, I'm super grateful, for every opportunity that's come my way. But, I'm proud of every time I get to represent myself on those introductions. I get to represent the good old state of Louisiana.
Bro, what's it? By the way, we were talking about this in the last segment. That 2019 team.
Oh.
Bro. I mean, I remember when y'all won it, and we kind of had this conversation. It was like, history is going to validate that team because so many of these guys are going to go pro and play really well, and you're going to go, man, all those guys are on the same team. Bro, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and that's just scratching the surface of the list. Patrick Queen, Jacob Phillips. I mean, look at the list. Do you all talk about that in like your locker room or in NFL locker rooms about that team?
Oh yeah, we always get into conversations about that stuff and how, everybody wants to compare themselves to LSU. And, everybody, especially the Bama guys, played with J.K. Scott this past year and Damian Square the year prior and all these guys who won national championships that, can talk on that level. But, it's crazy because everybody wants to talk about, oh, this was the best team or this was the best team. And the way they measure it is by comparing it to 2019 LSU. So that should tell you something in that essence. You know what I mean?
It's true, man. Best I've ever seen. I think best we ever will see. And again, like the validation will continue by all the NFL careers that you guys are having.
Yeah.
You know what? Your path, though, is different than obviously like a guy like Joe, who's the number one pick in the draft, right, and was starting right away. You went undrafted and had to grind away to get your opportunities. Yeah. Did you ever feel, and you've done the thing where you've, it's like, hey, we got to release you today. We'll re-sign you tomorrow. You're elevated. Your practice squad, active roster. You've lived that life now for 3 years. Has there ever been a point, or was there ever a point where you sort of stopped and said, man, I don't know if this is for me anymore?
Oh, multiple times. There's times where, I'm looking and I'm like, man, I thought I did enough. I thought I did enough. And then, it kind of brings you back to home, when you realize that, hey, you know what? This is the nature of the beast you're playing in. But, Matt, it's made me a better player. It's made me become a better man, understanding that you can't control some things in life. And ultimately, it's brought the best out of me in my playing style and how I play now.
What elaborate a bit there. What do you mean? Like, how has your playing style changed? You said how you play now.
Yeah. So, I like to look at it where, before when I was at LSU, I was always afraid of messing up. I was always afraid of just doing the right thing every play. And a part of that was a fear in playing for Ed Orgeron. I won't say I feared him like, a dad did as a child, but, he was so hit to the fact that he wanted the best out of his guys every play. And he was going to demand it, until you couldn't go no more. And when I got to the league, I kind of had that mentality where I got to be perfect every play. And that kind of slowed me down a little bit because it made me hesitate to the point where I wasn't being myself in the way I was playing. I wasn't being Braden Fehoko, the guy who's physical, the guy who knows how to anchor, the guy who knows how to get off the ball. And like I said, it's helped me transform myself into the player I am today where, I've already been cut 3 times. I've been a starter in the league. I've lived through this kind of, struggle and triumph. And so now I just give it all I can every play I get out there.
Braden Fehoko's with us. Y'all follow him on Twitter at Braden Fehoko 4. I mean, how's your family doing? I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, because obviously so many people in these parts got to love your family for the years you were in Baton Rouge.
Oh, man, they're great. They're continuing to be themselves every day. My family, they love Louisiana. They can't stop talking about it. And, ultimately, man, I'm, blessed to be able to share, those moments we spend at LSU together with them. And we always talk about it, how great, not just our football team was that year, but, the people in Louisiana, the hospitality, especially the food. Can never get enough of that, but they're doing good. Thank you for asking, Matt.
Of course, man. Look, I'd be remiss also if I didn't ask about the playoff loss, right? I mean, we all watched the game. We know what happened. You had a big lead, and you all lost. How do you come to grips with something like that when you know the opportunities are fleeting and you have to deal with that kind of disappointment?
Yeah, I'm never gonna say it's okay. Because as a competitor, you always want to win. You always want to achieve the highest achievement in sports, and in football, that's a national championship or that's a world championship. In the NFL, and when we lost the game, we blew a 20-point lead. Everybody wants to talk about how we lost and the things that went wrong, but of course it hit a little deeper. On that plane ride, that long plane ride back from Jacksonville to LA, and the day after, actually watching ESPN and seeing social media and everybody just continuing to bash it. But I found positive in it. That was my first time in the playoffs. That was, the class of 2020 with the Chargers, me, Justin Herbert, Kenneth Murray, Alohi Gilman, all of us, we've never been to the playoffs before. So I think to experience that level of play, we had to play for all 4 quarters, not just the first half, which, I mean, we played almost a near perfect half. I'm glad that we got to learn that. I don't call it an L. I call it a lesson. And, it's going to make us better players, along the future, and it's going to build the foundation of this organization for years to come.
It's great perspective. There was a lot of talk, obviously, about your coach. And look, down here we talked about it so much because everyone was talking about Sean Payton potentially being the Chargers guy. How is Staley received there, man? Like, he's obviously a defensive guy. How do you feel about your coach?
When he first came in last year, and this is how it everywhere in the league is, all 32 teams. When you have a new coach, you have to get his respect and you have to get, his trust, but it's also the same for him. He has to earn your respect as a player and earn your trust. And, last year we kind of started off a little, I wouldn't say uneasy, but unsure of each other. I came in under a different staff, a different legion of personnel people that brought me in. And so, it's starting all over from the bottom again, undrafted free agent. You have to work, you have to earn trust, you have to earn the opportunity to get on the field. And I can say from year 1 to year 2 to year 3, my growth as a player has not only been because of what I've done off the field, but because of the scheme and the ability to be a guy that can thrive in that scheme. Buying in is something I truly believe in. I truly believe in culture, and I know Coach Staley has built the trust of that culture in our locker room after 2 years.
He is Braden Fehoko, former Tiger, a national champion, now at the LA Chargers, finishing up year 3 in the NFL. Have you been back to Louisiana? Do you get to make it back this way?
Last year, as soon as the season ended, I took like a 2-week rest at my home in Texas, and I wanted to come to Louisiana, but I didn't want to come during the football season, and I didn't want to come during spring ball. I wanted to come and just relax a little bit, kind of enjoy the nuances of what Louisiana has to offer. The food, the humidity. It's crazy to say, but I love being in that humidity. It makes me feel like home. So
I love it.
I came back last year during like March for like 3 or 4 days. I stayed at La Berge, one of the best places to be in Louisiana. And I got to go down to New Orleans. I got to eat food. My fiance, we got to, enjoy the downtown Baton Rouge. We just kind of, did everything outside of what I didn't get to do at LSU when I'm so focused on school, football, and everything. We got to just enjoy everything, in Louisiana. And it was a cool little trip. So probably going to plan one here within the next month or so to come back for a little bit. And this time, hopefully get to see everybody, make face here and there, say hi, just see all the good people that helped me get to where I am today.
Heck yeah, man. Hey, before you go, I'm always tapped into all of your social media, everything you got going on. You got a lot going on, man. I mean, you have so many interests. You just mentioned you're engaged as well. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Hey,
thank you.
For all our audience, man, who are fans of yours, obviously when you were here, who are following you, fill everybody else on, like, outside of football, what else is going on, man? I know you always got a lot you're dabbling in.
So, now that the season's done, I'm just trying to be regular Braden Fehoko, taking the dog out for walks, enjoying new hobbies. That's one of the cool things I will say about playing the NFL is, having time in the off season to yourself, whereas in college, you're trying to focus on, psychology 101 or, economics 2002. I've been trying to get into streaming. That's kind of one of my new things is, playing games. I've been trying to cook more. I've been trying to just do things that, is out of the ordinary. Helping my future father-in-law fix his cars. Driving around, I've been trying to work on my car. Just recently got a new car. So, it's things I don't even know nothing about, but just things to keep my mind busy while the off-season's going on.
I love it, dude. You're a renaissance man. You're like not unafraid of trying anything, which is really pretty cool. Hey, man, always appreciate when we get a couple of minutes. Continued success. Everybody here is very happy for you, man. We'll look forward to catching up again down the road, all right?
Appreciate you guys. Send my love to everybody.
Will do, man. Same. Best to you and your family. That is former Tiger Braden Fehoko. Y'all follow him on Twitter at Braden Fehoko 4. Dude, you can tell, man, as genuine a guy. And everybody knows it, man, because everybody got to know his family a little bit whenever he was playing at LSU. And Braden is such an awesome representation and extension of his family and great parents and everything. So it's just such an easy guy to pull for, man, not just in football, but in life. So, man, really glad we're able to make that happen. He took some time off. Reached out to him a couple weeks ago. Took some time off after the season, but glad we're able to make that happen. All right, it's After Further Review brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. That's us, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Yesterday, the weather in Louisiana was awful. There were, first of all, sincerely, hope everybody made it through okay. No loss of life, damage to property, etc. Obviously, that's first and foremost. But the reality is every time we have a weather event like that, when it rains like that and we have 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, our phones ring at Hudco because people have roof damage. And if it's water in your house, if you notice shingles on the ground, I tell people oftentimes go look at the downspouts from your gutters. If you see granules, it's a really good indicator that you have some decay and wear on your shingles, and it might be time to check those out. Give us a shout. If it's Baton Rouge to Bossier, New Orleans or Lafayette, if you're in the 318, the 225, the 504, the 337, we got an office with the local number there for you. So you can go to the website and get it there at the top of the page at HudcoRoofing.com, HudcoRoofing.com. Or if you'd rather, just fill out the inspection form on the homepage. It'll take you 30 seconds to fill it out. Boom, get you in our queue. Someone will be in touch very shortly to get that inspection set up for you. Roof repairs, roof replacements, residential or commercial, from that smallest repair job at your home to the largest commercial building re-roof. We do it all at Hudco Roofing. HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Okay, Mel Kiper has his latest mock draft out, or his mock draft 1.0, his first mock draft, I should say. Let's comb through that when we come back on AFR.
AFR.
Bayou Ford has $4,000 off MSRP plus $1,000 Ford credit cash on new 22 Ford F-150 XLT trucks. That's $5,000 off plus 0% financing. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications. The powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution. A network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ATEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Moon Griffon is back. The voice of Louisiana politics makes his return to Baton Rouge. Catch the Moon Griffon Show weekdays from 9 to 11 a.m. on Talk 107.3.
You ever heard the tale of the misunderstood bull? A menacing beast that was born to float. A force of nature. The embodiment of grace. Quite grand, yet quiet and nimble. The Infiniti QX80.
Experience the Infiniti QX80 at your local Infiniti retailer.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them. Because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Today, people walk into a bar.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I need to go into radio timeout. I need to be charged a demerit. We just had Braden Fehoko of the Los Angeles Chargers on the show. And on the rundown, I have that Joe Brady is set to interview for the offensive coordinator job with the Los Angeles Chargers. Of course, Joe Brady coached on the 2019 LSU Tigers, and Braden Fehoko played on the 2019 LSU Tigers team. And the fact that I didn't ask Braden Fehoko on air about the possibility of Joe Brady being the offensive coordinator in Los Angeles is shame on me. I need to go to radio timeout. Anyway, Mike Arafola of NFL Media reports Chargers have requested permission to interview Joe Brady for their OC job. Of course, they fired Joe Lombardi. The Jets have also requested permission to interview Joe Brady. We all know the story. Brady was a quality control guy with the Saints, was hired by LSU as the passing game coordinator, won the Broyles Award as the assistant coach of the year in 2019, was hired by the Carolina Panthers to be their OC, two 1+ lackluster seasons in Carolina. He was fired and now is the quarterback's coach for the Buffalo Bills, and might get another shot at play calling. I'm curious. I will be curious to see if Joe Brady does ever find success as a play caller. Clearly, he's a bright guy. He's a sharp guy, and as we've talked about a lot here, he brought concepts to 2019 LSU, but largely gets far more credit than he actually deserves. He did not work with quarterbacks. He did not call plays. He brought concepts that were needed. Absolutely. He was a piece of that. But the bigger piece of that was Joe Burrow being the best quarterback in the country, and Steve Ensminger calling plays, and those two having a very eloquent song and dance that they did and made beautiful music on the football field. And Joe Brady was, rode sidecar to Steve Ensminger that season. So he deserves some credit, but he gets far too much credit than he actually deserves for that season. And that showed. He went to Carolina, and his first season ever calling plays, they bombed. They were 21st in the NFL offensively, and then in 2021 they dropped to 29th in total offense. So 2 seasons in Carolina, 2 very bad seasons in Carolina, and then now worked with quarterbacks. He worked with Josh Allen there in Buffalo, and we'll see if he gets an opportunity to be a play caller again. And if he does, if he succeeds, I'd love to see it. I mean, I would love to see. Of course, I'd love to see Joe Brady go on and have great success. But I think the failure as the OC in Carolina is it's not stunning. I mean, it was his first time ever as a play caller. So, what did he learn from that, and can he carry it forward to his next job will be interesting to see. So Joe Brady looks like he's going to get interviews with the Chargers and the Jets for their vacated OC positions, and we'll see if Joe Brady does get that opportunity somewhere along the way. One thing that's very obvious, he sees himself as an NFL guy. And I know we talked about that a lot, as people often wondered how long would Brady stay at LSU, And he always fancied himself as an LSU guy. He didn't want to recruit. That was always the narrative. Didn't want to go through all of the rigors of college coaching. Wanted to be an NFL guy. Wanted to be all ball. Didn't want to have to fool with recruiting. And it looks like he's going to stick. But in what capacity? It'll be interesting. He's a young guy. I mean, he's in his early 30s. It'll be interesting to see what trajectory and what path his career takes there in the NFL. All right, it's after further review. Mel Kiper has his first mock draft out. I'll get to that here in just a quick second. Love reminding you about the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020. Just book that consultation with the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020. Remember, eye care, eyewear, eye surgery. Your annual eye exam, they got you covered. If you wear contacts or glasses, they can sell you those at their optical shops. But eye surgery, it's what sets them apart. Dr. Blake Williamson is simply the best in Louisiana when it comes to refractive procedures. Go for that free consultation. Find out what your options are and start seeing better. See 2020 with the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com. All right, Mel Kiper's first mock draft is out for 2023, and there are 31 picks. Of course, continue to remind you, as we get closer to the draft, Miami does not have a first-round pick. As a matter of the Brian Flores situation, they forfeited their first-round pick, so only 31 first-round picks. The Saints do not have a first-round pick. It would have been the 10th overall pick in the draft. However, that pick obviously goes to Philadelphia as a result of the trade last year, where the Saints made multiple trades to get up and select Chris Olave. So Kiper does not have a quarterback going 1 to Chicago. And there will be great intrigue around this draft with what happens with the first overall pick. Because by and large, it is roundly believed that Bryce Young is the best player in this draft. We know quarterbacks are in demand, and that will be fascinating to see how it plays out. The Chicago Bears have presumably their franchise quarterback in Justin Fields. So do they try to trade Justin Fields and draft Bryce Young? Do they try to trade out of the first pick overall for a team that wants to take Bryce Young? That remains to be seen. Kiper did not mock a trade. He has Jalen Carter from Georgia going number 1 overall to the Chicago Bears. And we all saw Jalen Carter during his time at Georgia. He is a dominant interior player, and it wouldn't stun me if the Chicago Bears went that direction. They decided to get arguably the best defensive lineman and maybe the best defensive player, best overall player in this draft. So Kiper has Jalen Carter going 1, and then probably a surprise, C.J. Stroud, number 2 to the Houston Texans, not Bryce Young. In fact, Kiper has another defensive player, Will Anderson from Alabama going 3 to Arizona, and then there's Bryce Young going 4 to Alabama, and 4 to Indianapolis, and then 1 pick later, Will Levis of Kentucky to Seattle. So Jalen Carter, C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, Bryce Young, Will Levis. That's how Mel Kiper mocks the first 5 picks. 4 of the 5 from the Southeastern Conference, of course. But Bryce Young not going first and not being the first quarterback taken probably will surprise a lot of folks. Kiper does have another quarterback in round 1, and it's another quarterback in the top 10, and it's a quarterback from the SEC going to an NFC South team. He's got the Carolina Panthers at 9, taking Anthony Richardson from Florida. So that would feel like a tremendous reach. And I have so much respect for Anthony Richardson's athleticism, his God-given ability. You can see the arm strength. I mean, the guy does the running back flips, which is incredible. We saw against LSU the first play of the fourth quarter, the 75-yard touchdown run where he made LSU's defense look like high schoolers playing against a college player. It was incredible. I mean, he has that ability. The inconsistency through the air, I think, is the thing that he's got to work out, but I could say the same exact thing for Will Levis, honestly. If you gave me the option of Will Levis or Anthony Richardson, knowing just what I know having watched them in college, I think I would take Richardson over Levis. And you may think I'm nuts, but I think Levis is maybe closer to a finished product today, I think Richardson has the higher ceiling because of the arm, the ability, all that sort of stuff. And the mobility. But we'll see how that all plays out. And maybe the best news there for New Orleans is if New Orleans is, in fact, going to take a quarterback in this draft, and I would presume it would be at the top of round 2, that's it for the quarterbacks in round 1. Kiper has Stroud going 2, Bryce Young going 4, Will Levis going 5, and Richardson going 9. That's it for the quarterbacks. So if whoever you feel would be the next quarterback in the rankings, if it's Hendon Hooker or whomever, that player would presumably, according to this, drop into round 2. And so you see, okay, where are the quarterback needy teams and who might be available. So there are going to be options for New Orleans. It's not going to be one of the 4 or 5 best in this draft, presumably, unless if they're able to get some assets from Sean Payton, from a Sean Payton deal and take that quarterback. But if there is a next tier of quarterbacks available, the Saints could very well be fishing in that pond. 10 of the 31 players taken from Southeastern Conference schools, 7 different schools, by the way, so it's not like it's all just from one school. 4 quarterbacks in the top 9. No LSU players in round 1. Obviously, no Saints pick in round 1. And as far as the NFC South goes, Kiper, as we mentioned, he mocks Richardson to Carolina, 9th. 1 pick before that, he has Miles Murphy, the defensive end from Clemson, going to the Atlanta Falcons. And he's got Tampa Bay 19th overall, taking Keon White, defensive lineman from Georgia Tech. So the real story around the draft, as we all know, we've talked about plenty already, is from a Saints perspective, will the Saints get into round 1? If it happens, it would be via a trade involving Sean Payton. And can an LSU player jump into round 1? The most likely, there's 2 real candidates. It's B.J. Ojulari and Kayshon Boutte. If they can go to the combine in Indianapolis and just blow up and make someone fall in love with them, there's a chance. It feels better for Ojulari than it does for Kayshon, but we'll all find out. We'll find out in due time as the draft process is starting to crank up. By the way, OTB next week is going to be in Mobile for the Senior Bowl. So Hester, T-Bob, they'll be there all week in Mobile doing shows covering the Senior Bowl. Did a great job there last year. It's fantastic coverage. You know, the size of the event allows for so many of the players and the NFL coaches and all the personnel to be accessible. So make sure next week you set a reminder. Next week and every weekday morning, OTB, they'll be in Mobile at the Senior Bowl giving you great coverage all week long. So we're looking forward to the guys being there. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, the Bills GM, did he take a shot at Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase? I want to talk about that. We'll let you hear the comments, and we'll get into some Pluckers trivia. Glad you're hanging out with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers.
AFR.
All right, y'all, 37 degrees tonight. 37 degrees. If your home central heater is acting up, look, man, be it you, your family, your pets, you can't get stuck in a home that's freezing. You got an issue with your heater, call River City's 1 Hour Air. Nights, holidays, weekends, they'll always come out, and they'll never charge you extra to come after hours. That's River City's 1 Hour Air. Love sharing these 5-star reviews. This one came in from Jessica Mitchell. Said the technician was early and ready to work. He was very friendly and clear about what he was doing. Every time I've had a technician to my residence, they have been nothing but professional and courteous. Another 5-star Google review for River City's 1 Hour Air. And they've got double the amount of 5-star Google reviews as the next closest competitor because they've been doing it for 40 years. And that's the expectation they have for all of their technicians. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. It's River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $8,500 off new 2022 Ram 1500s. New 2022 Ram 1500 trucks on our lot now with $8,500 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
You ever heard the tale of the misunderstood bull? A menacing beast that was born to float. A force of nature. The embodiment of grace. Quite grand, yet quiet and nimble. The Infinity QX80.
Experience the Infinity QX80 at your local Infinity retailer.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Start your day with news and newsmakers. Start your day with traffic, weather, and local stories that are important to you. Kickstart your day every day. Mornings with
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we are going to get to some Pluckers trivia here in just a quick second. Muse, can you do me a favor, please, and update the poll question results? I'd love to hear what the people are saying.
Yeah, so today's Citizens Bank poll question of the day: is Dov Kleeman a real person? Dov Kleeman, of course, is an NFL reporter Twitter account that we suspect is not a real person. No has taken the lead, 57.1%.
I'm surprised that there are still 43% of sheep out there that believe Dov Kleeman is a real person. Look at the evidence. There is, for a man that has 115,000 Twitter followers, the fact that you can do a Google search and not find a picture or any record of him working anywhere or even being alive is stunning. There is no picture. There is no trail of work anywhere. This is a made-up person who just uses secondhand info. Go look. It's just retweeting videos, taking reports from Schefter or Rappaport or whoever, and just basically sharing them secondhand. That's all the account is. It's fine. It's a great centralized source for information about the NFL. But Dov Kleeman is not a real person. There is no human named Dov Kleeman. There is someone running that account. But I want to do this. So what is our account going to be? So we're going to do this. We're going to create an account that does the exact same thing. Maybe we could do something college football related.
Oh, that'd be
maybe
good.
Instead of doing the NFL.
That'd be pretty cool.
Or anything. I mean, we could do it movie related. I mean, what are the biggest or whatever? I mean, maybe we let our audience decide what we do. But I want to create the quote unquote Dov Kleeman of fill in the blank category on Twitter. TV shows, music, I don't care what it is. Something like that just shares Major League Baseball.
The NFL would obviously be the easiest one.
Could we do Major League Baseball?
Yeah.
I mean, we could find someone who just curates all that information from the Buster Olneys and the Jason Stargell, Pass, and all those guys. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that'd be really good, actually. That'd be a fun one.
What could our reporter's name be?
I mean, would you say Gregory or something like that? I think we could do a little better than that. But I mean, look, we just have to sit down, brainstorm, come up with that.
Text me to tell me what our faux reporter's name should be. 225 396 4400 396 4400 396 4400. Text me what should our faux reporter's name be? And we'll see. And we will see. I'm telling you, this person does not exist. There is no such human as Dov Kleeman. There is, however, a Brandon Beane, who is the GM of the Buffalo Bills. And he's drawn the ire, a lot of people on Twitter.com today, because he was talking about the Bengals and said this.
Anything that Cincinnati does, I'm thinking about those receivers, that type of. Do you see anything from them that suggests that's a trend that we need to kind of adapt to moving forward in order to close that?
No, they have a good team. I mean, they right now are on the advantage of a rookie quarterback contract. And, they had some lean years and without getting too much into their build. And, I don't want to suck bad enough to have to get Jamar Chase. Like, he's a heck of a talent. I'd love to have him, but you gotta go through some lean years to do that. And, they were able to get Burrow 1, and I don't remember where Chase was drafted, but it was pretty high. And those guys are on their rookie deals. We're paying Stephon Diggs a pretty hefty number. We're paying Josh Allen a pretty hefty number. So there is the constraints of the cap, but they have a really good team, and they got some good young players.
The Buffalo Bills have made the playoffs now 4 straight years and 5 out of 6. Before 2018, the last time the Buffalo Bills made the playoffs? My guess?
2003.
2000.
Ooh, I was close.
You were close. Almost 20 years. Your organization has sucked, Brandon Beane, for 20 years. You all just didn't get it right. Oh, by the way, you know what? Actually, Muse, double check me here. What round was Josh Allen in what round was Josh Allen drafted?
That was first round, yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
So they had a quarterback on a first-round rookie deal.
Yeah.
Hey, what round was Patrick Mahomes drafted?
Yeah, it was first round.
Oh!
First round.
Really?
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts?
First round.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, for sure.
Jalen Hurts was the second round.
Oh, okay.
Which is even worse. Yeah. Or better. We only get 4 years. But the point being, you had the same luxuries. You had the luxuries they have now. They drafted better than you did. You dork. All right, it's after further review. If you want to bet on the championship games this weekend, in which the Bills will not be playing, you can do so at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Bet just $5 if you're a new customer. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Bet just $5 on the conference championships this weekend, and they will give you $200 in free bets instantly at the DraftKings Sportsbook. If you're an existing customer, stepped-up same-game parlays are available for you. You got to opt in, and you can boost your winnings up to 100%. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. It's at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Pels on the floor tonight. You got college basketball. You got NHL. You got the NBA. You've got the NFL playoffs this weekend. Remember, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge and win. Otter Locks is coming up in less than 10 minutes, so you better believe Otter's going to have some picks for you. You can play along with us right now at the DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. One free bet issued based on amount of initial losing NFL bet up to $10. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Licensing partner Gold Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. All right, Muse, hit me with my music. It's that time of the week again. It's Wednesday. It's trivia night over at Pluckers. And we like to lob a few softballs to our friend Matthew Musso to prove just how little he knows about everything.
Softballs? All right.
It's actually pathetic how little you know.
Yeah, sure.
It's embarrassing. Paul, you know all these answers, don't you?
All of them.
All of them, I know. Me too.
Put that to the test one day.
Me too. Muse, in 2012, who was the MVP of Super Bowl 46?
I'm trying to not get caught with what I did with the Georgia question. So 2012. Was it Eli Manning?
It was Eli Manning. Atta boy. All right. Muse, who portrayed Fred Rogers in 2019's A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood?
The Tom Hanks?
Yeah!
There we go. A winning day, baby.
Let's go! One more, Muse.
Here we go.
One more. One more for a clean sweep, Muse.
I don't think we ever had that.
We have once, by me.
Well, but that was before we did it this way.
On the Disney trip.
Yeah, that was good.
All right, Muse. What is the most famous work by French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi?
Oh.
I don't know why I did that in an Italian accent for a Frenchman.
The clean sweep's gonna have to wait another week.
You can do it, Muse. You can do it.
No, I can't.
The most famous work by French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that guy.
Doesn't matter.
David. I don't know, Matt. And I'm very well aware he did not sculpt David. Yes, I know. That's the first thing that came to mind.
It's not David, by the way. It's the David.
The David, yeah. Okay.
The answer we were looking for was the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, I'd have never gotten that. I mean, good for him. That's pretty cool. I knew it was a gift from France.
Which is why I emphasized French sculptor. Who did the David?
Is that Michelangelo? No?
Of course it was Michelangelo.
Yeah,
it's like the most famous thing in the world.
We're right. Like I said, I knew he didn't do it. I just had to give an answer because I didn't know it was the Statue of Liberty. Sorry.
Paul, you knew it was Statue of Liberty, right?
No, he didn't. Of course. Liar.
All right. It's after... terrible. It's terrible. All right. Otter locks to wrap up the show next. Stay here.
AFR.
Love telling you about Clegg's Nursery, and right now, boy, it is exciting over there because every single day they're getting new shipments of flowers and plants. You want those wintertime flowers to add that pop of color to your flower pot, your patio pots, your flower beds. It's a great time to do it at Clegg's. And also, you might think, if you're not a green thumb, if you're a green thumb, you know this. But if you're not, and I've learned this, this is the perfect time to plant trees and shrubs. It's like laying sod as well. It's best to lay sod during the wintertime, actually. But this is the best time to plant trees and shrubs. Not citrus trees, okay, because you would have to do some maintenance around those if we did get a freeze. But things like fruit trees, like pear trees or shade trees or shrubs, and they have shipments arriving every day. Nobody's got a better selection than Clegg's. 4 convenient locations in the greater Baton Rouge area and partnered with True Value Hardware Store. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
All right.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers. Remember, trivia night at both Pluckers locations. T-Bob and I will be at Oliver Twist for Scone and Tea starting at 7 o'clock. So however you're watching us right now, if you're watching on YouTube, we'll be right back on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel in 1 hour and 9 minutes from right now. But right now, let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, 2-2 last night. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Please don't foul when you're up.
Otter, you went into a black hole.
You got me now?
There you are.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Iowa State up 5 with 4 seconds to go. Fouls the three-point shooter. Not good. Never good. Never good. If he makes all three, we get 2, calls 4, the whole shebang. So, anyway, life goes on.
That's what it is. So. But good call on Georgetown. Good call on Arkansas.
Yes. Roto-rooter, baby.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Congrats to Patrick Ewing on getting the win last night. Otter snuffed that one out from a mile away, man.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We got a few. I apologize.
Okay.
I was late to the party. We did give it out on the podcast. I sent you the video where we did pick Xavier. They're catching 7. We are up 20-11 right now. Xavier, they're the number 1 team on the in the Big East and playing at UConn. UConn is 500. They were as high as number 2 in the country, but kind of coming back to earth a little bit. It's a very interesting little road swing for the Musketeers at UConn and at Creighton on Saturday. Speaking of at Creighton, they may be looking ahead against St. John's. St. John's catching double digits. We like them tonight against the Creighton Blue Jays in Omaha. Okay. I don't mean to confuse you here, but Xavier's wearing blue and gold. They look like Pitt. Yep, we got Pitt too. Pitt -3 against Wake Forest at home at the Peterson Event Center, one of the nicest arenas in all of college basketball.
Wait, real quick. I'm sorry. I'm looking for the line on St. John's. Okay, St. John's is getting 10.5. Okay, I was doing the abbreviation of ST, and the app didn't like that. Okay,
don't buy it. Don't buy it when it gets up to double digits.
Okay,
just leave it at 10.5. Pitt -3 at home against Wake Forest.
Okay.
All right, Providence -10 against Butler. You're talking about teams with better branding than they actually are. Butler is getting smoked. I mean, their last 4 losses by an average of 26 points a game. Providence is good. They lost by 30 against UConn on Sunday. We're going to lay it again. Providence minus 10 against Butler. Alabama, they are 7-0 in the league. Their average margin of victory is 21 points a game. The lowest was against Mississippi State, start conference play, 11.
1 minute remaining.
Half. Give us Bama there.
Okay.
And I got a fun one for you. You ready?
I'm ready.
Ready? All right. Half unit, 3-team parlay. Maryland minus 5. Pelicans in the blender. And then look, Cal Baptist, the Lancers. You know what a Lancer is?
What?
Got the long sword. Yep. What? Cal Baptist minus 4.
That has to come from Bruce Marshall. It's gotta be. It's gotta be from Bruce.
That's from Paul Stone.
Okay.
They came to us Saturday. They won by 35. I was getting hallelujah text all night long. Cal Baptist, Pelicans in Maryland. Half unit, 3-teamer, plays 3 units.
Pelicans money line?
No, spread.
Laying the 3. Okay, where are you, Otter? We got 10 seconds. Where are you?
Ridge to walk on. 7 TVs on. That's all we got. We got action.
Yeah, let's check them out. Thank you, Otter.
All right, thank you.
All right, Muse, Paulie, thanks. Have a great night.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about the aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana, Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffery in Lafayette, and always online at theantiagingclinics.com. New year, new you. You want to look and feel like your younger self? You can. Hormone replacement therapy for men and women, and so many other products and services to help you look like your younger self. Injections, fillers, Botox. They have body sculpting, surgical and non-surgical options like we tell you all about. VeloShape, UltraShape. There are great options at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Those trouble spots that no matter how much you diet or exercise, you just can't fix that little spot, they can help at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Voted the nation's #1 aesthetic practice in the country. It's the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. It's right here in Baton Rouge and in Lafayette. Online, theantiagingclinics.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Toyota in Opelousas is here to help you ring in the new year with no markups, and you'll never pay over MSRP. And we have new inventory arriving daily. So Happy New Year from our Corvell Toyota family to yours.
Have you ever heard the tale of the misunderstood bull? A menacing beast who was born to float. A force of nature. The embodiment of grace. Quite grand, yet quiet and nimble. The Infiniti QX80.
Experience the Infiniti QX80 at your local Infiniti retailer.